its Megatron, and now its residents shall witness its dismemberment. Rise, my podcast, serve your new master well. All hail Unicron.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of, I was about to say Shoutouts Uncut, but we all know that it's all hail Unicron. This is episode 47. The unlost episode? No, I don't know what we're going to call this one yet. We'll get there when we get there. Joining me tonight, you know what? We can call it the Lost Podcast Members episode because they all just have disappeared with the exception of the one and only new hire, Mr. Rich Preordered. How are you, sir?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
I am living the proverbial dream. And that's it. That's all we have tonight. It's just the two of us. Again, you get to hear us talk, and we can ponder about what was the contents of the lost episode. Rich knows the contents. I don't know the contents, but will it be seen? I don't know. It'll be a mystery, and we'll see what happens. But let's just move on, I guess, to did you get anything this week? And I know you were away at a con yesterday, so did you get anything?
Yes and no. I didn't actually buy any figures from the con. It was Techo 2023. It's an anime convention. The reason I went was David Lodge. David Lodge was the voice of Midnight Express and JRX, or Rail Racer, I think.
Rail Racer, yeah.
Yeah, JRX is his Japanese name, I guess. One of the train bots and the combined form of the train bots from the 2001 Robots in Disguise. So
Robots
in Disguise. Yeah, I went with my buddy Mike. He's a super autograph specialist and expert. We went to talk to Mr. Lodge. I got my Midnight Express signed and a Robots in Disguise poster.
You live in the outskirts of Cincinnati, do you not?
Correct.
True?
That is true.
How long does that drive for you?
To Schittsburg.
It
was, yeah. Well,
sorry to offend any listeners that live in the worst city in the United States.
Well, I have a reason, right? So I'm from Cincinnati area, and I'm a Bengals fan, and Bengals and the Steelers are not
nope,
not fans of each other.
No, so. That is true. And I'm Philadelphia area, so you know we're the right side of Pennsylvania. That's all I can say. So,
it's from my house. It's a little over 4 hours.
That is quite the haul for a day trip.
It wasn't too bad. I've done worse. I've done Chicago, which is about a 5-hour one way.
Okay.
In a day, so.
That's not, I mean, if you're used to doing it, then you're used to doing it, and sounds like you got what you wanted out of it.
Yeah. So, I got that, and I got Leader Snarl Studio Series Leader Snarl, and he's all right. I mean, he's a mainline figure.
Yeah.
His tail, I was sharing pictures. His tail in Dino mode literally comes out straight down towards the ground.
Yeah.
And I get it. They angled the tail just enough so that all they had to do is make it fold shut. And they cheaped out on having it angle out a little bit in Dino mode. They're like, well, if we put it at just the right angle and you have to kind of squint your eyes and move the legs.
And it's good enough.
He's good enough. It's like he's like a hatchback car that got rear-ended but still drives.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't really need to get into the hatchback. I'll just drive it like this. It's a little crumpled in the back, but
very nice. Yeah.
It looks good in robot mode.
That's the important part, right? He looks good in robot mode.
He's got excellent articulation.
Actually, I take that back. Dinobots of all Transformers need to look good in dinosaur mode more than I think robot mode, honestly. But, you know.
I agree. There's some of the few that I would almost prefer to have a display.
Yeah, you know, like I have the FaaaaaaaaansToys one on my shelf, and like probably like every couple months I flip them back and forth between the two, and I'm never like, yeah, that's a bad decision. You know, like they look fantastic all together in Dino mode. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's fine from the front in Dino mode. He's got excellent articulation. His right hip, real nice, crisp ratchet. Left hip,
Left hit? I like it. What's
the
his
left hit.
do?
Yeah, just the tip. His left hip is a nice, real crunch of something going on in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this isn't much of a ratchet. This is more of just plastic crunching sound. Doesn't feel good when you move it, but
That's the best kind of ratchet is the crunchy ones.
Right. He's fine. I just need Hasbro to get me a swoop, and I'm good for mainline Dinobots.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, and I haven't messed with any one of them, but I feel like where mainline is concerned, they look totally fine for Dinobots, right? Like,
right.
Could be drastically worse. Like the Legends ones that they're doing, like those ones look no good.
No.
Yeah.
No, and Combiner Wars terrible.
Yeah.
So they're the best by far. They're the best Chug or mainline Dinobots that we've gotten. Period.
Right. But then at the same time, it's like an Olympian who's not really a very good Olympian, but they're like competing against like Special Olympics. I'm the best Olympian there is. Like, but you don't really have much competition. So I don't know.
You're the only one not wearing a special helmet. So good job. Yes.
Hooray! Sports.
Right.
That's amazing.
That's let me think. Yeah, that's it. What did you get?
Very nice. So I only got one thing today, and it came today, and it's better than it has any right to be, I feel like, for the price. Let me see. I gotta look back in our chat to see who's the company that made it.
Mod Fans.
Mod Fans.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of
Yeah, you know them.
Yeah.
Mod Fans, right? Like, we've done like one piece of news on them ever, and it's for this toy. And it was their like roller, and like for lack of better terms, I call them battle roller because that's what I remember TFC calling their version of roller that transformed into a robot. He's good, like he feels really good, and for $35, I'm like, shame on Hasbro, like legitimately, shame on Hasbro, right? Like, I was expecting, and I don't know if you remember the days when MMC made that top spin and twin twist. Do you remember them? And like, or maybe it wasn't.
Yeah. It was
whatever company.
Something.
Yeah, it was whatever company like MMC bought them, or they were like a subsidiary of them or something. But yeah, it was Mech something or other. That's what I was expecting, right? Like I was expecting it to be like that kind of cheap, like really thick feeling plastic and all that stuff. And like I got him, and like he does have like an arm squeak. He's got that Fans Toy squeak on his arm when you rotate it, but it's really like the two types of like, I'm not even gonna fix it because it's the two different plastics for the ball joint making some squeaking. Like I don't think anything's gonna break. It's not like tight or anything. It just squeaks. He's got like really good leg ratchets, and I don't know, he's got die cast in his feet and stuff to make him a little heavier at the bottom, so he stands really well. He's got a heel spur he doesn't need because his legs work properly. The only thing I had trouble with is like transforming him to the roller mode. Like he's got these little panels that flip around, and like there's this tab that's like it should go here, and it's like I did have to push on the arm to kind of like almost push it in position the right way to get the tab to clip in, but like I still didn't feel like it was gonna break or anything, I don't know. It's really good for $35, and I'm just like, even half of third party for that instance, like a Fans Toys figure is way more complex than this roller, right? Like this roller transforms in like 25 steps or something like that, and it's all pretty obvious steps, but like it's similar steps to that you would see on Hasbro toy, with like a panel folds out and then you rotate this in, then you fold that panel closed. Like, it's not anything we haven't seen before, but it just like puts it in perspective. Like, why is Hasbro charging $25 for a figure that's smaller, that's hollow, that doesn't have these panels, that doesn't have as good of materials, that doesn't have the paint, it's weird. Like, it's a weird decision. Like, I'm not going to put this next to FaaaaaaaaansToys Cliff Jumper and be like, oh, the price that FaaaaaaaaansToys is charged is unreasonable, because Cliff Jumper is way more complex, a lot more small moving parts. Like, there's probably an argument there that your mainstream third parties are charging a little bit too much too. But, like, I mean, like, it's blatant when it comes to the Hasbro stuff. Like, you know, I took a picture of them next to Breakdown. And it's like, why are these figures, like, largely transformed very similarly with, you know, how things work? And there's just, like, there's a $10 difference between them. Like, it doesn't make sense. So, yeah, pleasantly surprised if you're saw that roller that transforms and you're like, mod fan or mod whatever, who are they? I have no clue, but they did a good job. And, yeah, I'm impressed. So, I've spent $35 worth elsewhere, so I would highly recommend that. So
nice. Now, are his tires plastic or are they rubber?
They're just plastic, yeah. And that, I will say, is the weak part of the toy. I would say is the little hinges that the tires are on. I wish there was like a little something to clip them in position, because I find when you pick them up in roller mode, it's pretty easy to knock the tires down and, you know, like they start folding back in, and it's not a big deal when he's sitting on a table, but if you were to pick him up, it's just kind of an inconvenience. So, like, it's a nitpick more than it's a complaint, right? Like, this could be better, but, like, it's not affecting anything. Even those tabs that I said, like, you have to push, like, you could just choose not to plug them in, and, like, all 6 tires still touch the ground. The panels that aren't clipped in don't flop down and hit the ground, like, they're fine, you know. Like, there's 2 tabs that hold it in, and one set goes in no problem, and the other one you just have to push the arms a little more. So totally a good figure for $35. So
yeah,
I like
the
'em.
tires look like they actually have pins or hubcaps,
Yep,
just
they
the
do.
plastic.
They roll nicely. You know, it's I found when I put them down at first, the front 2 tires and the back 2 tires are rolling, so I just kind of pushed the middle 2 tires from the top, you know, just to make sure they were the same distance to the ground. And, like, yeah, then I'm rolling back and forth, and all 6 tires are going, like, really good. I mean, he's a really, really good roller, even if you didn't put him into robot mode. And the fact that that works is fine. I can think of one more nitpick I can give him, is that he just doesn't have, like, any kind of slot cut out that you could put the, like, MP spike or spark plug in him anywhere. Which I really could give a shit less about that, but some people may care about that, and, like, if you are one of those people, then that's one thing that you will probably be a little disappointed about. But
I think that's a fair nitpick.
Yeah.
Given that's something they've done with, you know,
It would have
MP10,
been
MP44.
really nice to have it, for sure. But I don't think that it necessarily takes away from how good of a job they did. So, yeah. I like them. I highly recommend them. I know you were kind of thinking about getting them. I would say if you're on the fence, do it. Especially if there's any, like, Hasbro figure that you're like, maybe I'll get that. Like, nah, get this instead. It's definitely better. So.
And it looks like he's almost Voyager height.
I would say it's probably close to New Voyager. Yeah, he's definitely taller than the standard deluxe. I haven't messed with. Yeah, I haven't messed with a modern Voyager for a while, so I'm not 100% sure. But from what I've seen pictures of, like, Ironhide, I would say he's probably pretty close to that Ironhide size, right? So, yeah, recommended. Definitely recommended.
Nice.
So that's all I got. Let me just quick look around my room.
Mech Ideas, by the way.
Mech Ideas, yes, and then MMC bought them, I believe. So.
Yeah, I think they partnered up with them because they were dying off, or they bought them.
Yeah, something like that.
And
or
then
the
they
designer.
released their,
But yeah, I do. I forgot all about Mech Ideas. That's the thing. There's 1,000,000,001 third-party companies anymore, and you can't keep track of any of them. So.
And that Top Spin and Twin Twist they did, the Demolition Crew, I think, those were pretty good figures, considering they came out, you know, over 10 years ago.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, honestly, for Twin Twist and Top Spin, like, at this point, like, I really don't care about Twin Twist and Top Spin. It's like, like, someone could be like, we're doing them. I'm like, that's great. You know, like, I still have my Mech Ideas one. Like, they're fine. they're as good as I need my twin twist and top spin to be, honestly. So, yeah, that's all I've got. So, I don't think I got anything else this week. Maybe some Lego parts to finish my ship I was working on, which I'm getting the pieces that were missing like properly sent, but I ordered some pieces off eBay just to get it done faster. So, it's fine. So, yeah, I guess today, we're going to be doing a lot of focusing on the TFCon Toronto as well as SDCC. So it's a con-filled show. So I guess we should probably get started. Thank you, Rich, for doing all the notes here, like always. Very much appreciated. And we will start by saying FaaaaaaaaansToys finally gets combiners finished. That and more from the TFCon Toronto third-party panel. So let's just walk through it. And, if we've seen it before, then, we'll just try to skip on. And if we haven't, then so be it. I'm dying. I'm back. Okay. Third-party panel. Make Toys had a purple cone head as their convention exclusive, I guess.
Yeah, G2 Ramjet.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
I need to, speaking of those cone heads, I really need to hit ship on those and finally finish my cone heads and seekers. And I can finally laugh as part of my collection is done. So, first up is, oh God, Li Zhang Bian Zing. Did I say that right? I don't know.
Yes and or no.
Yeah, he's there. I say he. It sounds like someone I was talking to on the phone earlier. Had a similar name. And I'm like, oh God, I'm butchering this. I know it. Anyway, they have the aptly named Gorilla, who's made of ABS material and stands at 9.06 inches with an alloy chest and knees. You guys need to put it in the feet. You can't put the die cast in the upper parts of the body. No. Stupid. Anyway, estimated release date is late July, 2023. So, okay. He looks like Grimlock and Optimus Primal had a baby. And this is him. He looks better than that combiner set of Dinobots that we were looking at earlier today.
Those are amazing.
If you are listening to this show, please go to ShowZ Store. This is not sponsored. Go to showzstore.com or .net or whatever it is. Just go there and look up, what was it? Teenage. Hold on. I got to go back. We have to find this out. You need to look up Teenage. God, what is it? Stalling for time. Super Teenager Beast Mechanical Dragion Man Combiner. Thank you. Look it up. You will not be disappointed. It's like all the Dinobots in their teenage years minus Swoop. He had not moved to the town yet, and we had not yet bullied out the Ankylosaurus from the Dinobot group. So look it up. You won't be disappointed. And then come back here, because this kind of looks like a counterpiece to it, honestly, though slightly better made.
Yes. This kind of reminds me a little bit. It's almost like they're cashing in on Rise of the Beast, obviously, but also it looks like they kind of stole some design elements or aesthetic from, was it Generation Toys who did that?
Yeah, I believe so.
Primal?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can see that. That statement right there, for sure. I mean, he looks fine. I'm in my typical fashion. I'm not going to get it. He's posable. He can do the Iron Man pose. I presume he comes with some kind of photographic filter that when you take a picture of him, looks like his eyes are lit up. Otherwise, he's probably going to come with a light gimmick that's not going to look anything like that at all. But okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fine. I mean, not for me, but
yeah. I mean, see, like this is the kind of thing that like I could find myself interested in this, just like the Leonidas. If you can take, Optimus Primal and make him look like kind of stylized and badass to me, then I'm like, okay, I'm in. And I can see that you're going for a stylized Primal. There's a lot of Primal in his chest, you know, the way he looks, all that stuff, and then it's like, but it's Grimlock's head. It's like, well, now you lost me, right? Like, I don't know. Does he have a? Let's see. I'm looking through because it looks like the mess looks like it splits or something, but like everything they show is just the Grimlock head. It's not.
I'm not sure.
It's not like Prime enough looking to me or something. I don't know. Maybe it's not even trying to be Grimlock's head, but like Optimus Prime's head. But the red eyes come off very Grimlock to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Picture 27. His shoulders look like they need to be pushed in. Like his shoulders look terrible. It's like a front-on view of the monkey mode, and
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Got some big old lips.
He sure does.
I was looking at the monkey. Yeah, so even like it looks like every picture of the monkey mode, the arms just look like they're sitting out just too far from the body. So
yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can push it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that gimmick they're showing off in pick 30 is pretty sweet.
Let me see pick 30, pick 24. I was gonna say that back that what am I looking? He's invisible.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, why did they leave that slide in?
Yeah,
There's
weird.
nothing there. It's like the background's there.
Invisible mode. I like that. Pick 24. I don't know. That's a little bit of a severe looking change between like the lower part of the spine and the posterior end of the ape. It's a little bit of a rough transition, but I mean, I guess since it's probably just his legs sitting there, kind of. Yeah, because that's his knees that are forming the back of the legs. So all it is that he's just like sitting down on a chair, and then his waist is turned around. So I suppose you could adjust that yourself to your liking. I will say, looking at this, just like looking at the ape mode, like, do not be expecting some kind of amazing transformation out of this thing, right? Like, most of it is like spin the waist around, fold down some arm flaps or fold them up, and then like you're gonna have to like tuck away the head or something. Like that looks like most of what this thing is doing.
What's a little odd is if you look at pick 24 or pick 23, the gorilla modes, he's got those red flaps on his shoulders.
Yeah.
But then if you go to pick like 22, where he's doing the Iron Man, those red flaps that clearly look like they move are folded up in that pick too. Like, what do those do? Yeah,
that's interesting. Are they just there to kind of look? I don't know what it's intending to do.
It's like they're not up in any pick in either mode. So I don't know, maybe he's got some other little
tricks that we don't see yet.
Yeah.
In either case, I look forward to Matt Baldwin's review of this, because I know that of anyone, it'll be him that gets this and talks about it. So I will watch it there, and that's as close to this thing as I'm going to get. So.
Yeah. Same for me.
So New Age has their Sludge, and he is looking fantastic. But we've seen him before. Who can also do the Iron Man. It's not a third-party toy if it can't do the Iron Man anymore. Yeah, it's fine. Do you care about Iron Man and Dinobots, honestly?
No.
Like, Dinobots do not seem to me like they'd be doing the Iron Man, right? Like,
I mean, I guess it's impressive that they can.
Like,
especially at a legend scale.
To me, they're more like Hulkbuster versus Iron Man, like.
Yeah.
I don't know. So.
I mean, this looks fantastic, but like.
Yeah, I can't wait. And,
I do appreciate the G2 red.
Is this the first time? Actually, I'm sorry to disrupt. Is this the first time we saw him in like the gold-plated chrome? I think this might be. I'm not positive.
Good question.
Yeah, because he's got like I don't recall seeing the translucent head and stuff like that before. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but it's looking good, and I can't wait. I'm super excited for this.
Lately, they've been dropping releases or reveals and then showing like 5 repaints right off the bat. So maybe
it's entirely possible we've seen this all before too. So I do not recall seeing the red repaint though.
I think that's an unreleased G2.
Yeah,
like
that's cool.
Artwork.
Now,
Yeah,
my only
looks-
question is, will his eyes remain silver like this, or is that like an oversight, or what? Because the eyes definitely do not look good to me without any kind of paint in there. But yeah,
Let's see. The regular one has paint,
yeah, he's got yellow paint in his eyes.
and then the red one.
It's like either not painted, just silver, or it's white and you can't tell. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Because that part doesn't look very good to me. I would rather see his eyes have some paint color to them. I think they'd look good in like red or blue, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's cool. And Sludge looks cool next to Grimlock. And I have not been this excited about Dinobots since FaaaaaaaaansToys did them. So bring them on. I'm totally down. What'd you say?
I said they look great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Looks like
The
fantastic.
FaaaaaaaaansToys Dinobots. I still need to get Grimlock.
Seeing the red Sludge and the blue Grimlock also make me kind of want to get the G2 sets. I'm not going to do it, but I want to. And the cartoon set looks so good, too.
That would be the set I'm going to go for.
Yeah.
That looks fantastic.
It does. I think when I was ordering, like, I was torn between the cartoon set and the, G1 Chrome, and it's just like I always picture the Dinobots with Chrome. I remember, and I've talked about it previously. It was like the Listen and Fun. It was like those old yellow tapes that we had as kids with stories on it, and they had like G.I. Joe ones, and I had the one for Transformers, and it came with that yellow G1 Cliff Jumper in the box. And I remember the story was about some kind of solar collector, and it talked about like Snarl's plates gleaming in the sun. So like when I hear all that, I'm like, my Dinobots are gold, right? Like,
Yeah.
So, and that's how I fondly remember them.
If you ever want to revisit your childhood with those audio books, I'd have to look, but I'm pretty sure there's somebody who has transferred almost all of them to YouTube.
If you find that, I would like to find them. I know I transferred the one I had as a kid to YouTube, but I would absolutely love to get some of the other ones. I actually was thinking, I was reading my kids a book tonight. I'm pretty sure I've got some of those like G1 Choose Your Own Adventure books. I'm like, I should read this book and let them choose the adventure. That would be kind of fun. So I'm gonna do that.
Cool.
Yeah. So I would love to hear that. If you have them or have a link to it, show it to me.
And I have some friends who are like G1 artifact collectors that I'm sure could point me.
I know you've got all these inside contacts. I love it. Then we have the candy versions, which are fine, but I would never buy them because they're just too fragile. What's next? Dr. Woo. What's going on with the logo there? Why does it look like the Autobot logo turned into the Joker with a sword sticking out of his head?
They should lean more on the Ric Flair, like Dr. Woo!
Yeah, you probably should. I can't do Ric Flair justice, though, so I'll let you take care of it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that logo, but...
Yeah, has it always been that way, or is this just like a new logo? I don't recall that logo, honestly.
I don't think that's what it was.
Yeah, I don't know. But Dr. Wu TP10T, the Iron Eater, and is this just a scraplet? And it's just translucent? Yeah, it's a translucent scraplet. It's cool,
That's fun.
It's cool, but why is he translucent?
I don't know. He's got non-translucent ones.
Yeah, he's got TP10, so he's got a blue one.
Oh, maybe not.
They don't show the silver one. You just skip right to Ultra Magnus. What the hell? I will buy a set of these in silver because I love the scraplets. I thought they were a lot of fun in the show. So
yeah,
no
a handful of
reason
little
not to own
scraplets
these.
would be cool to have.
Say it again.
I'm sorry. I was saying a handful of teeny little scraplets that
Oh yeah,
pose would be pretty.
absolutely.
Fun.
Yeah, I remember. It was on. I think it was Shapeways. Someone had some scraplets, and I think I bought them, and they were fine. You had to paint them and stuff yourself, but they were fine. They did serve the job, but I definitely enjoy having one that were made of better materials and things like that. So I will be in on some Dr. Wu scraplets. Yeah. So what do they have next? Ultra Magnus. And this is their tiny scale stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it looks good. I mean, the trailer, I think, leaves a little bit to be desired, but at the scale, I think it's probably fine.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I have their I have the blaster in this scale,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was at, it was, well, I think it was 2 years ago. I was at Scrap Fest, Skull Fest, and I think Robert brought a whole bunch of these, and I was like, wow, these are actually really cool and really fun. Then I almost made $150 purchase worth of, micro legends, because I think that's what you have to call them. I almost bought $150 worth of micro legends Transformers, and I'm like, I don't really actually need these, so I probably shouldn't. And I talked myself out at the last minute, but like they were all really good, and I could definitely see, pick if I had started with this, I'd be picking this one up too for sure. I don't think it looks bad at all. So
yeah, I agree. It's a nice looking little figure.
Yeah, and then we've got a Wheeljack coming, which surprises me at this point that none of the other third-party companies in Legend scale have done a Wheeljack, with the exception of the Whiskey Jack, which is not quite in the proper scale.
Yeah, he's actually in perfect scale with the MFT KOs.
Yes, yeah,
that are scaled up just a little. I have a friend who likes that KO.
Yeah,
slightly larger scale.
I actually have the MFT KOs of Inferno and Grapple because I liked the scale of them better than the whatever Magic Square version of them. I felt they were just too small. So I had them, and they looked nice in their robot modes, or in their vehicle modes, maybe a little bit big in robot mode, but it was fine. So yeah, I could see this or that one fitting in. This looks fine too. I don't really know how that little peg they show at the foot is going to work, because it's definitely like one of those things where you have to kind of slide it in at the angle, like one in front of the other to interlock it by the looks of it. See how it's like mushroomed out on the, I guess, his left foot or on our right side.
Yeah.
So, but he looks fine. He looks a little stiff, but I mean, he's just a CAD render, of course, and he's a tiny little guy, so he's probably just ball joints, and he'll be fine. Yeah,
I might get this. I like Wheeljack.
Mm-hmm.
G1 Wheeljack.
I will probably bite when they do a Jazz, just because Jazz is my favorite. But Wheeljack's pretty close up there, and this looks pretty good. I would alter the car mode just a little bit more, but I don't think it's hateful. You can see it's inspired by the Lancia,
Yeah.
So.
And again, at this such a small scale.
Yeah, exactly. You can take a couple of those liberties, and it's no big deal.
I might say that this is amazing engineering at such a small scale.
Well, I don't know who might say that.
We do.
You should get on there and coin that before someone starts using it.
Shout out to that someone.
Yeah, shout out to that someone. So then they have the Marbor, or whatever his name is, Smoke Out or whatever. Anywhere, I don't even know what his name is.
Exhaust. Once they
Exhaust. That's right. Yeah, he looks cool.
Yeah.
And then Slicer, to be expected.
Yeah.
Perceptor, he's a microscope.
He looks a little odd. Maybe it's just because it's a CAD rendering.
He does.
Like he's too thick.
Mm-hmm. He's definitely thick. The way, and again, this is all such a small scale that when you have him in hand, it may not actually matter. But, like the way you see how like, I'm sure his knees still bend backwards, but it looks like to facilitate transformation, they have to cave inwards too. Probably you flip them around at the top and then they flip outwards actually. But it kind of looks like his knees are facing the wrong way based on, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, like the joint should have been different, that instead of having those holes at the front, maybe those holes were on the side, and I don't think that's doing him any favors. He's very stiff, But I mean, it could be just like you said, the CAD render, and you know, when you see this in person, it may not look nearly like this. So I don't know.
Right.
I'm willing to give it a pass just given the scale, and I know that, what is it, like $30 or something like that? Like,
Yeah.
even less than that, maybe. I don't know. In the end, it's probably fine. So, all right.
Yeah, I think he'll be fun, and I'm sure they'll do the Magnificus. And Black
you know they will. You know they will. And then for some reason, the thing that's, for whatever reason, earned its love with the Transformers community, and I don't even know if it's the Transformers community or if it's just like, we hope that you like robots enough that you'll pick this up.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who's into these at all.
Yeah, these Astrobots, and like they look to me like they're inspired by Pacific Rim, like that type of thing.
Absolutely.
You know, like. And I know Apollo is something that they did. Okay, so Simon Furman, writer of the original Transformers comic series, creator of Deathhead, who is underutilized, teamed up with heavy metal artist I Don't Care for an all-new Mecha Masterwork based on the toy line designed by Aaron Thomas. Okay, so it looks like you're getting some kind of fiction related to him. And the fiction, the art looks cool. But I kind of don't care.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Simon Furman, legendary, Transformer comic writer from many different eras or genres.
Mm-hmm.
Not genres, really. Eras. G1, G2, War Within. Even the, what was that called? Regeneration 1, when they filled out issue 81 to 100. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't get into it. I can't even get excited to try and read the fiction. But
yeah, and like, I guess my question is, where is this coming out? The fiction. Is it a comic book? What's going on with it? Like, because that, like, you don't have to sell me on it. Like, I'm past my age of going to the store and reading a bunch of comic books. Like, I might pick out like a like a trade or something from the library once in a while and read through it. But I'm not going to the comic store and buying my comics every week anymore or anything like that. And I know, and it's not a knock on anyone who is. I'm just not in any kind of proximity to a comic store. It's like 30 minutes from me to go to one that would actually have anything. So yeah, this is not going to appeal to me, honestly. Whether it has Simon Furman on it or not, like, it's great. Simon Furman's done great things, and he's done great things, but like, I'm just at a point that I don't really care about new IPs in most cases, especially one that it's just an action figure, right? Like, it's a robot that kind of looks cool, but it doesn't do anything. There's no transformation gimmick. It's not some kind of piloted mech suit that has like this detail that opens up and there's cockpits and all. Like, I don't know. It's just, here it is.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I think it looks cool, but I'm not, maybe 10 years ago, me might have been interested in whatever. But like, just like the Pacific Rim thing, like however many people jumped on that, and then like I watched it, and people were like, "These are great, they're awesome," and then like a month later, everyone was over it, And I feel like this is the same way. And I personally don't know anyone who's got it. I think Pia might have reviewed this, and it's like, but he reviews like everything toy wise, so yeah,
I agree. I mean, Simon Furman is a great author. He's written some really great stories, and I believe that he can put together a great story for this. But I agree. I also agree that I don't know. I can't really.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe if it starts getting these reviews that it's
if everyone
like
says it's amazing,
best story ever. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll check it out. I feel like even the name, like Astrobots, just feels like uninspired to me.
Yeah. Now these two figures that they show, Atlas and Savage Atlas, I mean,
they look neat.
They look badass.
Yeah.
I don't know that I really care still, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean, if you are into the aesthetic of these robots, I think Atlas and Savage Atlas look pretty cool.
I mean, again, these, like you said, these really look like some kind of, somebody took Pacific Rim and, made it an anime or something.
Yeah. Whether it's that you like done an anime thing to Pacific Rim, or something else, it does definitely look very much like it's inspired by that type of thing.
Yeah.
It's like Pacific Rim meets Transformers, meets something else. Let me see. I just want to Astrobots. BBTS just showed me that there is a G.I. Joe Classifieds 2 set of the Steel Battalion, and I think I'm in because that was the G.I. Joe that was aptly named after me. Thank you, Hasbro, for doing that promotion 30 years ago and making me feel like I was a G.I. Joe. Anyway, Astrobots.
Yeah, gives you those feels.
This is $70 for Apollo. There's Athena and Artemis, who are also 70, and then like a much bigger figure, Vulcan, like 120. Like, it's just too much for an action figure, honestly.
I mean, they're pretty big, aren't they?
1/12 scale. What's the scale? Like 7 inches. I don't know what
that means.
So it's like Marvel Legends size, right? Isn't Marvel Legends about that size?
Yeah.
G.I. Joe Classifieds, yeah. Let me see it. I'm looking at G.I. Joe Classifieds.
But when you say 1/12 scale for a robot, it's like, are they human-sized robots? Are they robots that humans drive? So that's why I'm like, I don't know what that really means. But
yeah. So.
Oh, I see. This Vulcan is almost like the Aliens power lifter.
Exactly. Yeah.
Robot from.
It really looks like the power lifter because it looks like you got like the human in the like holding the big giant mech arms and stuff like. Yeah.
Yeah.
It very much looks like that now that you mention it. I mean, they look cool, but like, that's all they do for me is look cool, and I'm past that in my life.
Yeah, they look great. I mean, there's a lot of Japanese anime mecha that look great to me too, though. There's a lot of Gundam that look great, but I just never got into them and just can't.
Yeah. Yeah,
get
exactly.
Into them really like.
I feel
not that there's anything wrong with them or that they're not great. I just don't have the time to deep dive into other.
Yeah.
I like a lot of Robotech stuff and Macross stuff too.
Yeah.
So.
I agree. Yeah, and I mean, if you're into it, totally fine. I'm not trying to knock you or tell you not to get it. You spend your money how you want to spend your money. To me, it's cool looking. I can definitely enjoy it from afar. It's not going to grab me because of the so much of what I get anymore, it's all nostalgia based. And if there's no nostalgia, then I'm not going to get it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's cool. Whatever. Looks neat. I hope you like it if you get it. So,
yeah.
I was just flipping back and forth between Atlas and Savage Atlas. It's just like you couldn't even tell me that like doesn't even look like the same character to me. I mean, I guess maybe that's something that happens in the fiction. Why does he look like this now or whatever? But whatever. Who cares?
This is what happens when he gets all savage.
Exactly. He stubbed his toe and now he's angry. That's the fiction I'm going with. Metagate.
Atlas and Savage Dragon mated, and
for
those who remember Savage Dragon. Anyway,
I do remember Savage Dragon.
Metagate.
They have Blackfire. He's Nemesis Prime. You fine?
This is legend scale.
Yeah.
And it's fine.
It's fine.
I don't really have a need for legend scale.
No, like this is not what I'm buying. I'm not looking for this aesthetic in legend scale. I think his head is too small for his body, but I think that's a problem with a lot of legend scale. And the truck mode looks like shit. You should go back to the drawing board with the truck mode. I really don't think the truck mode looks good. Like how extended out the wheelbase is, like the lack of any kind of like fender coverings on the back, like it just doesn't look like you tried with robot or truck mode. Like you tried for the cab and then you're like, just make his legs lay flat and put the wheels back there. No one will notice, like.
Right.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that the Cybertron series. They had legend scale, and the Optimus Prime had that back in truck mode that just went on forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I can
didn't
see
look
that.
right because he didn't have his trailer or his back part.
Exactly. And like
Like,
that's the thing. If you had a trailer that was 100% coming with this, then you might be able to hide some of the weirdness to it, but it doesn't, right? Like
Right.
and like the silver thing in the middle, like is that like a weapon? Is that the trailer hitch? Like what the hell is that? And why is it not on the side of the truck looking like fuel tanks?
Those are on the sides of his legs in robot mode. I don't know why they're on the top.
Yeah, so what is it? It's like it looks like an extraneous piece for no particular reason. Like it doesn't look like it makes sense on his legs, and it doesn't make sense on his robot mode.
I think the Bumblebee model Optimus just has those on his knees, on the sides of his knees. So they had to put them somewhere.
I almost would have rather them parts for him and look like tanks on the side of the truck, honestly.
Yeah, it would look better on the sides. I mean, it's legend scale. It's fine.
It's legend scale. It's fine. But I would encourage you to just get any other Optimus Prime before this one, probably. Then Metagate has Ming Jiang. And he is, name of the car is slipping me. Bugatti.
Yeah.
He's a Bugatti, and he's yellow.
And he is...
Oh, he's Bludgeon.
Bludgeon.
Yep. I mean, Bludgeon looks kind of cool, I guess. But why
this isn't a legend scale, right?
It looks too complex for Legends, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not, right?
I mean, he's got articulated fingers at least a little bit. I don't know what scale this is. Does it say in the notes anywhere? Metagate. Movie Drift Bludgeon. Wow, there's a hodgepodge for you. Movie Drift Bludgeon.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because if he's not legend scale at this point, I question like what you're doing, right? Like, why would you make Optimus Prime legend scale and then not make this legend scale? But at the same time, like,
yeah, that's a real good question.
If this is legend scale, he looks awfully panely. Like those are some small hinges that those panels are on. I'm actually flipping back to Optimus Prime so I can kind of look. Like he doesn't have like Optimus Prime. Like the screws look a lot bigger on Optimus Prime. Let me see if I can find any screws on him. Looking at the pins on the side, I don't know.
Like
I don't know. This is hard to say. Like when you look at picture 89, the back panel, you see the 3 screws on the back, and they're pretty big overall for his body. So this might actually be Legends. I don't know. Looks similar to the screws in picture 82 for Optimus Prime. If you look like they're very similarly sized screws, you can see in Optimus Prime's shoulders. At least they look like they are.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, screws come in different sizes and blah, 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 blah. But, like, those don't look like big, heavy-duty screws. Those look like some small screws. And they're taking up a lot of real estate on his back.
That they are.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a complex Legends, but we've seen that before.
Yeah. I mean, it's not something we haven't seen for sure.
Yeah. So, maybe it is.
Maybe.
It looks pretty good if it is a Legend scale.
The question I have for myself and probably you, would I buy it? And I don't know if the answer is yes, honestly. I like Bludgeon. I think Bludgeon's a cool character. And, like, honestly, I think where Legends Bludgeon is made, like he's got a lot of, like, movie greebles to him, like, in terms of, like, his legs and stuff look very movie bot versus G1. But, like, I mean, he kind of could fit in, but would I rather have this or would I rather have, like, Tank Bludgeon? And I think the answer is I'd rather have Tank Bludgeon.
I would rather have Tank Bludgeon also. But given that this is kind of a shoehorn into the movie verse and they're kind of doing their own thing, right? To my knowledge, there's no
for sure
Bludgeon in the movie verse that's based on the Drift Bugatti. There is a Bludgeon that is a tank that came out for Revenge of the Fallen, I think, that toy line. And that's a great toy, actually, but I mean, And obviously we're getting a drift out of this, I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure. Now, the one thing I will say about this Legend that I don't like is that I wish the thigh pads to me, and I am not up to my samurai armor, so if I am wrong, so sue me. I'm just saying what I think looks better. I think that I would have liked it better if those pads were on the sides of his legs versus the front like that. Like, they look like they severely block any articulation on his legs, at least forward. And I just don't think they look that nice. Am I wrong? Is samurai armor, on the side, and I'm just an idiot, or on the front, and I'm just an idiot? I don't know. You tell me, Rich.
Just doing a quick, not really sure off the top of my head, but doing a quick Google search. Yeah, it looks like they actually are. Like, there's like the crotch piece on a lot of these suits of armor, and then there's two
like
pieces
pads
that kind of cover their thighs that kind of don't sit necessarily straight forward, but kind of sit off a little bit, but not on the side. So
well, that's cool. I don't like how it looks personally, but it's fine. If that's right, then it's just my aesthetic preference and not my desire to protect my thighs.
Yeah, I mean, there's some that are more on the sides, I guess. Yeah. There's a lot of different styles of.
I just feel like it looks really weird on the Transformer, and that it definitely is a articulation hinderer. Like, I don't think it's a surprise that he's not doing the Iron Man pose, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, the picture is 93 and 92. He seems like he gets some decent articulation out of his legs. I can't really tell exactly how they're sitting. Like, they might be off to the side. I don't know, but
I think picture 90 is pretty cool, where he's like kind of crouching down and drawing his sword.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty cool for a little legend guy. That's
for sure. We'll see if the price is right. Maybe this interests me way more than their Optimus Prime. So
yeah.
All right. Well, Lucky Cat, who is definitely not 5'2" Toys. So they have their Microcosmos Riccio, which is just their Devastator. I believe you have him.
Yes, I do. I love it. I could completely do without the cube aspect of it. Don't care. But the alt modes and the individual robot modes and the Devastator are awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
well made.
They look just fine.
They have die cast in them.
The vehicle modes don't do much for me, but they're obviously like Cybertronian vehicles, right? So
yeah,
it's fine.
And this was based off of, I think, a Don Figueroa. I'm sure I said that wrong. Artwork he did back in the day for War Within, and they did pretty well keeping to that art. So
I have no complaints about it. I think it looks, for what it is and what they were trying to do, I think mission accomplished. So, and I agree. I think the cubes are just unnecessary and kind of dumb.
Agreed.
All right, then we have ET-01, which is Bumblebee, without a doubt Bumblebee. I don't think it turns into a cube, does it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it just looks like an Action Master almost.
They have a series coming out that doesn't turn into cubes.
Yeah.
And it's this figure. There's an Optimus Prime based on the Bumblebee movie.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a Valkyrie coming out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And a Power Ranger figure.
The Power Ranger thing, I think, does still turn into cubes, if I remember right. But
does it?
I think it does. I have it pre-ordered because it looks badass.
I'm not a Power Rangers person, so I don't even know which one it is.
Son of a bitch. No, that's fine.
I know.
Let me see. Lucky Cat. Let me see their Power Rangers thing. There's Voltron. Do I have it? Yeah, I have their Microcosmos 03. No, you know what? It does not transform into cubes. I forgot, but like it actually does have the individual dinos and all that stuff, and some extra things that weren't in the TV show that make them look kind of interesting. And I was down. So
which Megazord is this?
The original, the OG. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, looks cool.
Going all the way back.
Yeah, and it's like what's pretty neat is like he's got, and I'll post it in here. I imagine they'll probably end up doing a Dragon Zord. I'll just post it right to you. But like it looks like they have like all these extra bits to kind of like make the pterodactyl look more interesting, but at the same time like you can just take them off and it's like when you look halfway down it's like legitimately like the original Megazord looking cool and articulated. I'm like, oh, it's like everything you ever wanted. Like even the Soul of Chogokin Megazord does not articulate as well as that looks like it articulates. So I'm down. But Lucky Catcher is treading some dangerous waters with, going after Bandai and Harmony Gold properties, and I don't know.
Yeah, and Hasbro properties, and
uh-huh.
And what is it? WP
like you can't even refute
Ultra?
that this is Bumblebee. Like this is, yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, granted, most third party can't refute that their characters, whatever, but yeah, at least you're stepping on old stuff and not.
I still maintain
branding.
that the biggest balls in third party belong to Magic Square. Because when you go to the Magic Square website, Magic Square Toys, and you can order direct from them, they literally say something along the lines of the best legend scale Transformers available. Like
That's pretty amazing. That is some
they
big
just
balls.
use the name right there. Like
that is some huge balls.
And then, in addition to ordering their figures direct from their website, they have a decals link right there where you can order decals for
most
figures.
places shy away from giving the decals to be like, it's not a Transformer.
Well, not only are they appropriate Autobot and Decepticon symbols, they're the licensed stickers that company Ocean does. So they're licensed by Hasbro. Boy. So they're selling licensed Transformer product on their third-party website and calling themselves Transformers Legend scale figures.
That is some big balls. You are right.
It's amazing. It's like,
come on,
I don't know if it's right. I'm like, I don't know if it's stupid if they're going, you can't touch us.
You'll never touch us. Yeah.
Huge balls.
Huge balls.
Huge balls.
Yeah.
Speaking of a huge ball,
Bumblebee looks like a huge ball. Picture 104 kind of looks like he's trying to take a shit. 105, he looks cool. I think Bumblebee looks neat like that.
He's totally taking a shit.
Oh, he's definitely taking a shit. Without a doubt, he's taking a shit.
We don't care about the Iron Man pose. We're going for the dropping a deuce pose.
That's what you should do, right? Like, if my Transformer can't look like he's taking a shit, and like even the eyes, he's like sternly looking directly in the eyes while he takes a shit on your lawn. That's what he's doing.
You just walked in the bathroom and he's staring at you while he's finishing. I'm not stopping. I'm staring at you while I finish pitching this off.
That is amazing. That is most definitely what that face is doing. He comes with the battle mask. It looks cool. Oh, he does transform. Okay, this thing's kind of cool now. I didn't think it transformed, but he does transform.
No, he transforms. He just doesn't transform into a cube.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. He looks cool. It's a little Volkswagen. Yeah, keep me informed. I'm not getting this because I don't care for this Bumblebee, but he looks good.
Yeah, 2.67 inches tall. He's a little fella that transforms.
Magic Gate, you may want to take note that this looks really good in its robot mode, and it looks, I would say, good enough in its robot or its vehicle mode. Like, I really think like the ball joints on the side don't look great, but again, he's so small that you have to give some concessions. So, I'm fine with it.
And they are doing an Optimus from Bumblebee movie.
Yeah. So sorry, Magic Gate.
They'll be going toe to toe with them.
Probably got to go back to the drawing board. Hope the bludgeon works out. 01 Studio. I don't know what the fuck is the name of this company. This is the Cell company who made
Studio One. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
This
whatever.
is why I said, speaking of big balls.
Yeah, they're the ones who made Unicron, Cell Unicron. And they're making Primus, and he's fine.
It's totally Zeta Toys, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right. Yeah, I had this on pre-order, and I was just like, I just don't know if I need Primus, honestly. Primus compared to Unicron, like Unicron is such a special place in my heart because of the old movie, the 87 movie. 86 movie? 87? I don't know.
86.
86.
I don't know what movie you were watching.
Yeah, I don't know either. I probably saw it on video later on or something. That's why it was 87. It came out from the theater. That's my guess. I don't know. Yeah, like I don't have really any attachment to Primus. I had the Cybertron toy and it's fine. And like I can see this being a cool counterpiece to Unicron, but like largely like a lot of it looks like it borrows things from Unicron. Like I almost feel like it's a remold of Unicron more than anything. And I could be wrong. And Unicron's a panelly mess and kind of hard to... He's not like that fun to transform and stuff like this. So there's like a million reasons I'm like, I'm good, you know?
Yeah, I never did put this on pre-order. It looks cool, but I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I don't know if I need a Primus. I still have the Cybertron Primus.
I do too.
I actually have the repaints also.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I know the repaints of Primus.
So for Transformers, whatever it was, 2010 or whatever the Takara line was, where they did the Unicron that had the new head, they took Armada Unicron and they did him in more movie colors, and they gave him a little bit of a tweaked head. It was around the time United came out or something. But they did a Unicron and they did a Primus, and the Primus is different colors than the Cybertron Primus. And then for Toys R Us, right before Toys R Us died in the U.S., I think it was for...
I remember it
last night. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did that exclusive. And it's these weird colors on Primus.
I do recall that now.
And I grabbed him because it was literally when Toys R Us was starting to die. It was like their last wave of Transformer exclusives. They did that little stealth bomber Megatron also. Yeah, so I grabbed him, and then I've got 3 Unicrons to go with him. With those 3. Makes a cool display.
Yeah, it's fine.
But yeah, I don't know. It looks cool. It looks like a nice figure.
It does.
I think you're right. I think they did borrow from themselves in some of the transformation.
Yeah, like it looks like the forearms look the same. The legs look very similar. Yeah, I mean, I like the details. I love like the little cities in him. I think they look cool. They look nice. I like the big one at the top there. Looks cool. I don't think I like the robot mode. Yeah, I don't think I like it. I think the red is a bad choice on the chest. I feel his head looks kind of boring and uninspired. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're going for like that like Optimus Prime color scheme in a way, you know?
I'm not sure. I know it does say color not finalized, so maybe they're still messing around with things. But
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think he's that interesting looking in his robot mode. And so like this would be a case that like if I got this, unlike Unicron, who like I kind of have merit in putting him in robot mode and putting him in his vehicle mode, his planet mode. You know, like he looks cool. I like that. This I feel like he would just kind of sit in his planet mode for me mostly, because I think that's where he looks the most interesting, and I just don't have the room to just put the big ball of a planet somewhere that I'm just not interested in. So
there's no room with your big balls for
my big balls take up too much room as it is.
Man, picture 117. What's going on with them hips?
Yeah, he got some hips.
Wow. I mean,
is that just showing how his ab crunch? I guess it's showing like a telescoping joint type thing, which is cool.
Does he have no ankle tilt? Because that left leg is just like, not even trying to bend.
Yeah, I agree. Ankle. Like the fact that you put in all this like ab crunch, like it's cool, but like why do you need it? Like what pose am I having this guy on the shelf that I'm making use of that ab crunch?
The pose that he's gonna do right before he shelf dives off your shelf.
Yeah, the Iron Man pose maybe.
I guess. Yeah,
I guess that's what it's for, the Iron Man pose.
Yeah, I don't have him on pre-order. I don't plan to, but I mean, I'll keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it looks
Yeah.
like something I need.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're down with the aesthetic, I mean, I think their Unicron is fine. So, if you like the aesthetic, then I think you probably won't be disappointed. But to me, I realized I'm just buying this or had this because I thought that it'd be a good counterpiece. I'm like, it's not really a good enough reason to pick it up for me. So,
Yeah.
And then they shown Constructicons. So first is Quarry, which is, I don't know, Scrapper. I can never remember all the Constructicons names in order. Scavenger or Scrapper? Scavenger.
I get Scrapper and Scavenger
Yeah.
mixed up all the time.
It's the Excavator. It's fine. I feel like the Lucky Cat one looks more interesting to look at. This is like the situation with this to me is like, and maybe someone's screaming at me. Our one listener that we have left is screaming at me, and this is from a specific fiction, but like, it doesn't look G1. It doesn't look like something from most of the comics I've seen. So it's just like a stylized version of like, this is what we thought looked cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what this is from either.
Yeah.
It's not the War Within designs,
Nope.
which is what the Lucky Cat is. I really don't know what this is supposed to be.
Yeah,
based on.
I just don't know if it's like their own stylized Constructicons or what it's supposed to be. Like, I just don't understand. I don't think the Excavator looks that good. Like, and I really don't think that the robot mode is all that interesting to look at. Like, it's almost too detailed, you know? Like, so it takes that G1 aesthetic and throws it away. Like, I can't even say, like, it's supposed to be, like, a movie-verse version of them because, like, it's, like, too G1-y in a way and, like, doesn't look like a real-world excavator. So, like, I don't understand it. And then, like, we'll move on. Tremor, who is Long Haul. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, honestly, like...
Yeah, I wonder if this is supposed to be some Cybertron mode from something. Maybe
I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. I think that Long Haul looks really bad in all modes. I think he's a dumpy dump truck and he's a dumpy robot.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's what they're supposed to look like. This is based on something. And I know what was interesting is, and we kind of discussed this a little bit in our chat with everyone, that we aren't sure what scale this is.
Yeah.
There are some people who say, "Oh, these are Legend scale," and then some people say, "No, they're Masterpiece scale." And you know, you can look at the hands, and the hands look to be individually articulated fingers. So
yeah, if they're individually articulated fingers, then that's not Legend scale. Yeah, because you look at the thumb on Long Haul, and it definitely looks like it's got that three joint, which is just gonna have little pieces of finger pop off.
Yeah. And at the panel, apparently, because I listened, and apparently they didn't say.
Yeah.
And there was no confirmation anyway what scale this is going to be. Now, Studio One is also very well known to be Zeta, or an offshoot of Zeta.
Mm-hmm.
So Zeta so far, well, that's not true. They did.
For legal purposes, we are distinct from Zeta. Please don't call us Zeta.
Right. There's no Z in Studio One.
Yeah. Duh.
I don't know. Toy World did the Aerobots. No, Zeta did the Aerobots. Toy World never got them out.
I think this is going to be Masterpiece scaled.
Zeta did do the Legends Aerobots too. So, yeah, I tend to agree. This, based on the detailing, this looks like either Masterpiece or
like a Voyager type thing. Like,
yeah,
it's not going to be. I don't think it's going to be Legends.
Stuff.
Huh?
Like maybe they're trying to get some stuff out to go with like the Planet X. Like this is like a War for Cybertron, Fall Cybertron video game aesthetic? I don't know.
I could see it. I could see it, but I don't know. If it is, then the articulated fingers are a big mistake because they look really bad in that scale, and it's really easy to lose pieces of fingers. I don't even, frankly, like them for Masterpiece scale, if I'm honest with you. I think it's a stupid decision for the most part.
I like them when they're done right.
I can't think of many companies who have done them right.
Some of the Takara stuff of late has been good. Then there's some that's real bad.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I don't mind the individual fingers when I don't have the, like, 3 segmented finger. Like, if I have fingers that, you know, each finger is just, like, its own piece, and I can move, you know, they're all on, like, one bar, and I can move them individually, but it's not like I can joint them at 3 different areas. I think, like, that works out for the most part, but...
Yeah.
I always go back to, like, I think it's MP10, and, like, he has the like, finger, the little trigger finger that goes flying off somewhere in your house, and it's just, I don't know, I don't like it.
Yeah, because they didn't pin it.
Yeah,
they should have pinned it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you pin it, yeah, sure, but yeah. So anyway, looks like next up is Scrapper, and I did look. It is Scavenger, the Excavator, and Scrapper, the rolling block with a plow.
And missiles.
Yeah, and it's like, again, it's like, what is this? Like, I don't recall seeing this anywhere. Obviously, it's not in Earth mode, so, like, it looks so uninspired to me. Like, it's like, let's make our own cool set of Constructicons, and, like, this is what you came up with? Like, you know, someone's going to be screaming that, that, like, you idiot, like, this is no, you know, this is on this thing. You should know that this is a thing. Like, I'm sorry, I don't, but like...
Yeah, if anybody does know where this is from, like,
yeah, put it in the comments.
Design, please do, because I am very curious. I looked a little bit, and I can't find anything.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong about Studio 1 or Studio 01 being Zeta, because I know that there was the, you know, Unicron cease and desist, and they sold off the design to somebody, air quotes. And it's totally not Zeta, just like Moon Studio
anymore. Yeah.
It's totally not Zeta. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean,
leave that in the comments.
I would like to know that for sure. Definitely leave it in the comments so we can be educated. I think that this Scrapper looks stupid. I'm sorry. Like, I have nothing good to say about this alt mode. It's stupid. I don't know. If you have any more comments on it, you could say it. But
it looks, it doesn't look like anything I'm familiar with. It looks like, to me, like one of those toys where they were like, let's make a Devastator, but let's make it so they can't really say we copied their designs. We'll just make some new design that's just, it's some vehicle with a bucket on the front and treads.
Yeah.
And he has some aesthetic choices that make him look like Scrapper, but other than that, it's not Scrapper.
Yeah, it's totally not Scrapper.
Now, if this is based on something in a comic that's, you know, Cybertron mode, then, and they nailed it, then, you know, kudos to them.
Yeah,
I'm just not familiar with it.
Yeah, me neither. I think the robot mode here doesn't look too bad. He definitely needs to consider focusing on his leg day. Little bit skinny. But I actually, so to give them, you know, a compliment here, I do think that the shovel folding down and making the chest like that tends to look better than, you know, the shovel being on the back, which just always kind of looks a little like an afterthought, even though that's, you know, the character model or whatever. But I like it. I think it looks good folded over and making the chest like that.
Yeah. They went back to their G1 blockiness with that Mixmaster, am I right?
They definitely did. Yeah, so they don't show the last 2 members, which is weird because they show them combined, but they don't show the individual robots. So,
well, I think even Hook might just be kind of fudged in that.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
In that combined mode.
Yeah.
And Mixmaster's obviously just roughed in.
Yeah, definitely.
Mixmaster's like, he couldn't show up for that day, so they made a cardboard leg and just put it on.
You say that now until it turns out that this is exactly what they were what they were going for.
Okay, I'll say right now, if that's what Mixmaster actually looks like, final design, I'm buying that Mixmaster.
I'm in. Yeah, that's something. That's something, all right. Yeah. So then we see the combined form, and like, he's kind of chunky.
It's kind of chunky. His head looks
It's hard to see because they give a 3/4. Oh, damn it! I just closed the picture. These a 3/4 picture on all sides, right? Like, so you never see him dead on. You just see the 3/4. But he looks very chunky, and the head definitely looks a little weird to me.
It looks like it transforms or something, which is fine.
It does. It does.
Like maybe it folds out and it just becomes part of Hook. I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too, because if you look at it's what picture 124, is it 124? 126? 126. Where you see it from the back, it almost looks like it, yeah, like you said, like it transforms. Like there's no reason to have the squares on the back and stuff.
Yeah. 126 almost makes it look like it's a headmaster, but I doubt that.
I can see the headmaster.
You know, like some legs
it's
or
Dirt
something.
Boss. They're gonna go all.
It's Dirt Boss.
They're gonna go animated style with this. Oh man, then I'm gonna have to buy it when I find out that they're like, this was actually Derek J. Wyatt's vision of the Constructicons, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. And like, here I am, the animated fan, and I didn't even realize that. Just kidding. I know that that's not what the Constructicons we had ended up looking like.
I will say on 126, if those wheels on his heels, the wheels on the heels, if those lock together to help lock the back of the foot, like it looks like they do here, maybe that's just the CAD model smashing together.
Yeah, that's interesting.
If it locks together like that, like if the wheels have a little tab on each wheel that opens so you can lock the wheels together to hold it, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I mean, that's a neat piece of design to actually put that in and pull it off. So
this also looks, now that I'm staring at the various combined modes, especially from the back, this looks like it might be an all-in-one combiner.
Yes, I would agree with that. It does not look like he's got extra bits that he's pulling around or anything like that.
Yeah, and it looks like long haul makes up the thighs there.
Yep.
Maybe. Yeah. Which, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm probably not getting it. I'm just giving you a warning. Studio 1 or 01 Studio or whatever the hell your name is. I'm probably not buying your thing. And that's probably not going to change. But yeah, whatever. You do you. So. If you're happy with this, then I'm happy with this. It's kind of like when you look at your kids drawing and you don't really think it's that cool, but they love it, so you have to say that, like, yeah, it's cool, buddy. Like,
have you ever seen oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, have you ever seen there's a website where this guy takes people's kids' drawings from all over the internet and critiques them?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
The website's like
Maddox, yeah.
Is that it? It's like, I'm better than your kids.
Yes.
And he rates all the amazing.
100% amazing. There is no better critique of children's art than
it's
that.
amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
It's 100% brutal.
Uh-huh.
And so good.
I love it. Yeah, I actually have his book too.
He has a book?
Yeah, he has a book of like shitty kids art. So I think he also has the Guide to Being Manly, which is also a good book too. If I recall, that was him. Definitely recommended. So moving on. In yet more unprecedented news, there's another third-party company that I've never heard of before. Collection Space. They're making a little bee. Now, is this a critique that it's a female? And they're calling it a little... I mean, come on, that's offensive, man. Not all women are bees, okay? Like, come on.
Maybe they meant little bee cup. Badumts.
Yeah, definitely a little
I
B
don't
cup. So this kind of looks like the nicey type thing, but like not really as hypersexualized. It
Yeah.
just turned into a female Bumblebee, and it's like really what it is it's an action figure with car bits wrapped around the back that you kind of unpanel out and make a car, and congratulations, you're done. And that's all this is, right? Like obviously, just like that. Who'd made it that the Wingblade or Windblade? I don't even remember what her name is, but
Yeah, Windblade.
yeah, they like did her like it looks very reminiscent of that. But like to me, this looks worse because it's legit a Volkswagen folded up on her back, right? Like
Yeah.
you didn't even try to hide that. And honestly, I have not been, there have been Megatrons and Optimus Primes statues done as females, and like I didn't really quite understand the demographic there. And I kind of understand this one even less, that it's like now we have Bumblebee, who's not at all sexualized, really, and is just female with a shitty car parts on the back. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's almost like those. What are those figures that? I just lost the name of them. They're like they're official. It's like a girl and Starscream merged.
Yeah. Exactly. I know what you're talking about. I don't remember their names either.
Yeah. Actually put them on there because there's some news about those.
The Volkswagen mode.
Shujo. Yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
The Volkswagen mode. Like, at first I took a quick glance at this. I'm like, it doesn't look bad. And as I sit here looking at it, I'm like, it looks pretty bad. So I think from behind the hood back, it's a competent Volkswagen. I think that the taillight sticks out a little bit far. But I'm not going to knock you. Whatever. It's fine. I think the hood is way too elongated for the Volkswagen. I think the front end looks just totally off. And then what the hell did you do to the front wheel?
Yeah, the front wheels, like they put a wheel cover on just the front wheels.
Yeah, like you couldn't even find a place to fold the wheels to make it like work. Like I assume, and maybe I'm wrong to assume, that the wheel actually rotates on the front. Like it's very like possible that this is on some kind of hinge that this thing can't rotate, and that's it. Like this car won't roll. But then the fact that you didn't even try to get any of the like hubcap or hubcap / rim detail in there, I'm like,
yeah, I feel like if that folds over on itself, you could have carved in some detail.
Yeah, like what are you doing? Yeah, it almost, to me, it looks like the back end looks like a Bumblebee toy, and the front end looks like it's a knockoff Bumblebee toy. Like it's very, very strange.
The front looks like it's supposed to be proportioned like a real Beetle, and the back looks like a penny racer.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Because the Beetle is a little longer than people.
Yeah.
At least than I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to the penny racer proportions.
Yeah. I think this is a little too long, but I agree with you.
It is. But it's almost like they started to stretch the image and it went, no, don't stretch it. Just leave it as is now.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, whatever. If this does it for you, then good for you. But I question your collecting choices. I'm trying to find the wheel. Okay, it does. So picture 132. The folded up wheel goes behind her legs there. I think it does rotate, but it's just like...
Yeah, you can see it pretty well on 135 too.
Okay, actually 135.
Because she's got like her legs up. You can see
I think personally you could have done something better with the wheels. Like I'd almost rather the wheels hanging off the side of her thighs and looking like the front wheels than doing that. I don't think they look good hanging like hidden on the back of her thighs because they don't look integrated in. They look like they're just folded there. You know, like it doesn't look integrated into the robot. So.
Yeah, I think it's just to make her legs look streamlined from the front.
Yeah. Honestly, then I would have just hung the shit on all the other shit you have folded on her back. Like, like you've already come to the decision you were going to just put everything on her back that is her alt mode anyway. So why'd you stop at the legs? Like,
yeah, I don't know. That's a very strange.
Yeah.
This whole thing is just, I don't know. It's very niche. It's not for me.
It's not for me
I'm not
either.
Sure what this fills, but
I will watch it on Matt Baldwin's channel because I'm sure he'll get it. So,
yeah.
Planet X, they're still alive and they're making
still
sludge.
Function.
It's fine. I honestly I know Planet X has been staying in their lane and keeps doing the WFC stuff, and that's great, and I'm happy for everyone who's happy. I personally think their Grimlock looks stupid, and it's its alt mode. Like this, this picture of Grimlock and Sludge, just it looks so stupid to me. Like, if you like it, I'm glad you like it, but I hate the eyebrows that are on Grimlock and his oversized comical head. It doesn't look proportioned. I think if you take away his head and you look at the rest of the body, I think Grimlock looks great. And then you look at the head, I'm like, I think the head could have been done better. And then I look at Sludge and I kind of feel the same way. The head doesn't really look right. But then on Sludge, I don't think the rest of the body looks all that great either. So I don't know.
I saw some images from the comics, I guess, that this was pulled from, and it's pretty spot on. Sludge has that weird head. So.
I mean, I get it, and props to Planet X for staying in the lane. And if you really loved Grimlock, then you're probably happy for this. But frankly, I just don't like them. I don't think they look good personally, and that's not a knock on Planet X though.
Yeah, from the head back, if you cover the head of Sludge, the rest of the body gives me an animated vibe.
Yes, I can see that because I actually was about to say the same thing. Even the back toes look very much like animated Snarl.
Yeah,
and I like the cleanness of the body too, right? And maybe it's in prototype. Maybe he'll get some extra techie greebles on him, but when you look at Grimlock and you see the silver panel and you see on his legs he's got that kind of looks like a vent, and then he's got the gold piece in the center. There's so much interesting things to look at, and then this looks very much like that very flat basic animated thing. I could definitely see where you put a different head on this Sludge and you're animated Sludge, I could see that 100%.
And then if you go to 141 and look at his robot mode,
141, let's see.
That gives me even more of an animated
it does
Sludge, especially that head.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Again, it's the cleanness of the robot looks that way, and the head definitely doesn't look badass robot. It does kind of look that cartoony animated. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Scale this down and make it for my animated collection, please. But give me a new dinosaur head because that head looks terrible. I like that his mouth opens. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But see, even with the mouth open, then that even furthers the animated style because he doesn't look humanoid like the G1 Sludge. And again, this is pulling from comics, so maybe he just looks just like this, but it just looks so animated to me, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think they nailed the comic look from what I saw.
Yeah.
So kudos to them.
And definitely props for them for seeing it through. Good for you.
Absolutely.
You're staying in your lane. Nobody's bothering you. Yeah, it's fine. It's not for me, but it's fine.
I think that's
but
a
if you
smart
start
move.
doing animated, I'm in. And we do need some animated Dinobots to finish them up. And we need Constructicons and all kinds of things. So please make it happen, someone. Speaking of which, I need to get back to building that Optimus Prime armor. I've got it all printed out, and I got to put it all together still.
You do, because I want to see it.
Lazy son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. All right. You have any more comments on this, or should we move on?
No.
No.
I think it looks pretty good.
All right, well, we'll just stay here. We're not moving on. You just said no.
Oh, no. Sorry. No, I don't have any more comments other than I think it looks pretty good.
All right, Iron Dot Factory Dot.
I don't know why that's not their logo. I never noticed them until you said it, but yeah, I can't unsee it.
Iron Dot Factory Dot. Prowl? Okay, he's fine. I think we've seen this before, right?
I think maybe, yeah, they did show the dots.
Okay, 147 Prowl looks good. 148 Prowl is wearing his Depends. Like, what the fuck? Like, you didn't even try to do anything with the car. It's literally just hanging off his ass. Like, Ultra Magnus had a butt flap, and then there's Prowl. And, like, wow. And it's like 149. You're just like, we didn't even try. And like, I know people love Iron Factory, but like this type of stuff just like kills me. Like these are the OG Legends people, right? Like they were doing Legends before anyone. I mean, minus Hasbro. They're the original third-party Legends, and it just feels like they stalled to me in this case. Like especially on Prowl, like it doesn't look innovative.
Yeah, I feel like they could have maybe had, like, looking at 149, I don't know, maybe they could have had it so that it at least folded all the way up, over
it could have folded
the top.
Up. It could have split apart and, folded onto, like, the thighs or something, like, bulked out his thighs. Like, I feel like there's a bunch of stuff they could have done. And, like, it's not even like it's attached to his ass. It's legitimately attached to the top of the car. Like, it's like, so he's not going to have that much back motion on his legs.
So going back to 148, it looks like there are joints inside of that.
Yeah, there's something there.
Maybe it can fold some more, or is that just to fold it out the way it is in 149?
I don't know. I don't think it looks good, though. I really don't. And, like, none of the pictures show any kind of back movement on those pieces. Okay, and this is the case, so, like, 152, I didn't even realize that this was supposed to be part of their Samurai line. Like, nothing about this screams Samurai to me.
Is it, though? Because I don't see any of the, like, nothing on him looks like Samurai armor.
Exactly, he has no swords or anything like that, but they take a picture of him next to all the Samurais. So what is he?
Oh, I guess he does have a sword on 151, but that's...
151, let me see.
Is that all he has?
Yeah, so what is this? Like, what is it trying to be? Because, like, it looks very much like an Earth mode. Like, Ironhide does not look like an Earth mode car. Grimlock looks like a samurai wearing armor wearing dinosaur. And then there's this, which looks like, honestly, it looks like, what was Robots in Disguise or whatever, the Bumblebee show on Netflix? Like, that looks like what this car is. So to put him there, like, he doesn't fit the aesthetics of the samurais at all. And if you were going for samurais, then why didn't you take all that back shit that's just hanging off and fold it around like armor? Like Ironhide has the side, and see, that's what I was talking about with Bludgeon. You see how it's like on the side there? Like, that's what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the armor.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah. But I feel like it looks better that way to me. But, so why didn't you do that to Prowl then? What was the decision to just leave this hanging off his ass like that? It looks very confused.
Yeah, I agree. And, they're going to get at least 3 figures out of this, so it seems like they could have put some more work on it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So they're going to get Blue Streak, and they're going to get Smokescreen at a minimum.
At minimum. Then you probably end up getting some, like, repaint, and you end up making Barricade and all kinds of stuff. Like, you're just going to get milk this mold. 153 is the car mode, and, like, you see what I mean? Like, it looks like the RID Bumblebee car. Like, it's not, like, a legitimate, now times vehicle. So it's like a stylized, futuristic-y type thing. Like, hold on, let me pull it up. RID Bumblebee. Like, when you look at the car mode of that Netflix cartoon, it's like, here. right here, actually. Copy. Nope. Can I? Well, here, you'll have to click the link yourself because I can't figure out a way to just copy the link here. Or copy the picture link. But, like, when you look at, like, this RID robots in disguise, warrior class Bumblebee, like, you see how it's not a real car. You know, like, it's just a car of our own design. And that's, like, what this gives me the same vibes of. Like, with the extended back end and, like, that's what it looks like. It looks like it fell out of this cartoon to me.
Yeah, it is an odd choice. I don't know if that's meant to be in their main line, because in the next picture, 155, they have it with a bunch of their other figures.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, like they themselves are confused. Like, if this is meant to go with those other figures, then why didn't you show it with them? Like, what made you choose the samurais?
I don't know.
And then, like, the car mode 154, like, the back end's open. I think the fists are hanging out back there. It just looks so lazy, honestly. Like, it really does.
That one doesn't bother me as much because I know how tiny these are, so I give that a little bit of a pass, but I do agree, that they could have done something. It's kind of a shell former.
Yeah.
It's like the whole top of the car. They could have done something with that, I think.
I didn't know they made a Jazz. I might have to look into that. Was he any good?
I don't have the Jazz. I have the Wheeljack there.
Okay.
And I have their Hound from that.
Yeah. I
Optics
think I almost
Hunter,
got their Hound a couple of times, and I held out.
He's cool.
We'll see. Maybe I'll find Jazz just so I can have Jazz, but I don't know. I'm still confused. I don't understand, and I feel like Iron Factory doesn't really know where they want it to go. So then they have EX37H hybrid formula. What is this supposed to be? Is this just a repainted Mirage? They did do a Mirage, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did a Mirage.
Yeah, so I think. I don't know what this is.
Oh, this is G2 Leadfoot. Okay. That's what this is supposed to be.
He's fun.
Yeah, Leadfoot was one of the G2 guys that had like that propeller gimmick.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, he's fine.
I think they took their Mirage and they
colored him.
Tweaked him.
Yeah, gave him a different head sculpt.
Give him a different head, yeah. Which, that's cool. I mean, good job getting a reuse out of it. You know?
It certainly is better to me than Pro, honestly. So.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
could have put a little propeller with him. That would have been a neat touch, but I don't.
That would have been a neat touch for sure. So on to the big news, in my opinion, the thing I care most about. FaaaaaaaaansToys. So they show their aerial bots, and they look great as a set, and frankly, if they don't combine at this point, I don't care. Just let me have the whole set, please. I'm not going to pretend I know them. Fireflight is the red one, I think, and Slingshot is the white one. Is that correct?
Yeah, and Air Raid is the black.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's right. Slingshot and yep. Fireflight.
Air Raid is the black one, and what's the last? I know we have Silverbolt. He's the easy one. What's the last one's name?
Skydive.
Skydive. That's right. I liked Air Raid. He had the best name. But Fireflight and Slingshot, they look good. Make it happen. I just want to finish a set of combiners, and I don't even care if they combine at this point.
So, should we throw in the post that somebody threw out there right before TFCon?
Yes.
So there was this rumor that somebody posted that they had heard from a solid source that the designer who was working on the combiners, both Menasor and Superion, left and basically took their design work with them, or just stopped on their design work, and FaaaaaaaaansToys was left figuring out how to make these things combine, which is why they suddenly went silent on combiners. And nobody knew at the time of this, rumored post, or this rumor in the post, nobody knew what was going to happen or how long it was going to be. And then TFCon happened a week later?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. And of course, now this is the news. They've shown all the remaining figures and the combined modes more clearly now. And so Superion, they'd shown the combined form a little while ago also, and that the skeleton or pieces for Superion make flight stands for the aerial bots. But now we're seeing the final two guys in full color, looks like full production samples.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they look like they're ready to go almost.
Yeah. They look great. They look fantastic.
They look fan-fucking-tastic. Like, it's everything I want them to be, honestly. And like I said, don't get me wrong. I want my FaaaaaaaaansToys things to combine. I really do. But I'm at the point now that I just want my dead end. I want dead end, and I want the rest of the aerial bots. And if you have to sell me, the sixth figure to make them combine, I could give a shit less. I just want to put them all on the shelf right now, and I will buy the thing to combine them. But I just want him. I want him done. Having, 4/5 of the Stunticons just sitting there is not that it's actually painful, but it's come the fuck on.
Right.
That's all I want. I just want you to go ahead and get this to me. So to see the aerial bots here, Slingshot and Fireflight, and they look so good. Just like the rest of them. I'm finally I could be excited for this set again and feel, here's something and it's done finally. I can't wait. These can't come fast enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we get to picture 175, and oh my god, he's combined. And hey, so getting back to that rumor, honestly, so my question for you is, I feel like if this rumor is true, and I could see it being true, FaaaaaaaaansToys doesn't say anything because they don't want you to lose faith in their combiner, right? So they don't tell you, hey, our designer left, right? They don't want you to know that because they want you to buy their toy. They don't want you going to the Zetas and stuff.
Right.
My question is, would you rather them have told you, hey, our designer here quit, we're going back to, okay. Would you rather them tell you the truth, our designer quit, and we have to go back to the drawing board here and get this thing figured out, how to make this thing combine because they took the things with us? Just the transparency, right? Transparency on the situation. We did this. We're going to figure this out. Don't worry. We are going to complete this thing, but it's going to take longer than expected. Or if they had said, we made a design, they probably didn't even have to tell us the designer quit. They could have just said, we made a design. We decided it's not going to work, and we have to go to the drawing board again. Or the silence. Which of the three ways would you have preferred? For me, I would rather you just tell me that he quit, and be like, sorry, we have to figure this out. We didn't want him to quit or whatever, but he did. Please know that we're working on this. And then I feel like I wouldn't feel so bad just sitting here looking at what I have. Knowing that there is a circumstance. But it's they went radio silent. It just makes you think oh, they don't even know how to make this thing combine, right? So what would you rather have done?
Yeah, so not only did they go radio silent, I mean, it's one thing to just kind of go, let's just not talk about our Stunticons and our aerobots, and maybe nobody will say anything.
Yeah.
They didn't just do that. They were they went silent, and then people were like, hey, what's going on? It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
What's happening? And they just kind of went, what do you mean what's happening? Here's Trailbreaker.
Yeah.
Here's Powerglide. They completely ignored it.
Yeah.
So I would have rather had them say, okay, look, we know you guys are chomping at the bit to get your last Stunticon and your last two aerial bots, but they didn't even have to give me all the details. They could have said, we've run into some problems with the combined mode.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that this is absolutely the best possible combined mode on the market.
Yeah, exactly. Like any
So
kind of
we're working on it.
transparency, right?
Right.
Like you don't even have to give me the details and the dirt that your person quit. You just yeah, we ran into some issues and we don't want to rush this thing out. So, we have designers who are been tasked with these releases that you're seeing now. Rest assured, they will come,
Yeah, I would have much preferred that. And I would have been happy. So the other part to all this is they've said all along that the skeleton or the combiner parts, whatever you want to call it or whatever it ends up being, will come with the final figure of the set. So that explains the dead end thing for sure. Aerial bots, obviously, we're waiting on 2, so why didn't you get one of them out at least?
Yeah.
But as part of that transparency, it would have been nice to have them say, look, we've run into some issues with the combined mode, so what we're going to do, we're changing our plans, we're going to release the final figures, and then we'll release the combiner parts.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So you could at least complete the set, and then, then you could decide you needed the extra bits. 100%.
That would have been my choice for sure.
Yeah.
I don't need all the juicy details like, oh, this guy got pissed off and took all our files and walked away, like the whole, Zeta Toy World ugliness that they kind of aired their dirty laundry.
Yeah.
I don't need all the details. I just need to hear some updates.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially when you've got somebody that Dejang, however you say it, on TFW. He seems to be the go-to person for FaaaaaaaaansToys, whether he's the owner or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of the go-to, always has the information, is the voice of FaaaaaaaaansToys. And he's got the ears of the fans. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Third-party companies will post all the time and say, hey, look, what do you guys like? Head 1 or face 1, face 2, face 3?
Yeah.
Something else. Did we miss it on all 3 marks?
Yeah.
And they'll get fan feedback. So I think it would have been very appreciated and understood, too.
Well, yeah, I can agree with that.
It's like X-Transbots. Remember when they said, oh, crap, everybody wants the Zeta scale for combiners, and our Stunticons aren't the Zeta scale. And remember they said, okay, we're going back to the drawing board on our Menasor.
Mm-hmm.
The figures are still coming out, but the trailer for Motormaster is not until we get the new scale figured out.
Yeah.
And then they did it, and in my opinion, they missed several marks, like no ratcheted knees, single screw hinge for the Menasor knees.
Yeah.
Terrible. Anyway, the point being, though, they said, look, the Stunticons are going to be done, but Motormaster's trailer Menasor is not going to be done as soon as you would like, because we're making them Zeta scale. So, yeah, I agree. Or I would pick that. I would pick the somewhat transparent.
Yeah, I think that's all it takes, honestly. Like, just be clear about it with people.
Yeah. And it's funny, too, because I was reading some of the posts and responses to this whole thread on TFW, and you see people going, oh, wow, the combined mode really does look good. I guess I'll have to see if I can pick up the figures again. Yeah. Like implying that they gave up on FaaaaaaaaansToys.
And not that I was planning to get rid of it, but like I was at the point I'm like, should I get, like KFC or DX9's dead end just to have a dead end?
Yeah.
Am I ever going to complete this set? Like I don't care if it doesn't combine. And them's like, well, shit, like should I get the Zeta? How many times I almost bought the Zeta Superion just to have Superion in that scale because I wasn't sure if FaaaaaaaaansToys was going to do it,
Right.
And it's like, well, I guess I'm just going to, I ultimately was like, I guess I'm going to wait and hope they do it because they've kind of come through with all the other things that have been on back burner. Like we got Soundwave, we got Optimus. I'm like, they have to finish some point, right? But like, and then like, especially then when you get like the controversy that like, oh, we can't make as many products now because of how we're being taxed and all this stuff, and like, you know, like it just seemed like thing after thing. And you're like, am I just gonna miss out now because of this decision? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw somebody go so far as to start designing and printing a 3D printing a dead end.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw it at Bobby's. Someone made a custom dead end for him that fits in, and it looked really nice.
Yeah, and it was like, this won't combine or this won't be as high a quality, but you know what? It fills that shelf out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about that a little more. Well, let's get to the Stunticons, and then I'll bring up my other point.
All right. So yeah, I mean, Superion, we only see the torso and stuff, and he looks great, and just make it happen. So Dead End looks awesome. He looks everything like I want Dead End to look, and I am glad I've waited. Just finish him. I do hope he has the yellow stripes, but I assume that they will be there on the final mode, and we're just kind of seeing what's there. It's interesting, though. I don't know if it's the translucent plastic they use, but it looks like the lights have an LED gimmick almost. But I think it might just be... I hope that there's no LED gimmick, and it's just how it ends up photographing. The set looks fantastic.
I don't think the stripes are going to be there.
You don't think so?
No. Because I don't think he had them in the cartoon.
That's a good point.
So my guess is they won't be there, but I mean, that's a pretty easy ad, right?
It is, but then I have to buy repro labels, which I've been less happy with over the years, honestly.
Yeah.
We'll see.
To me, what's a little more concerning is in picture 181.
Let me see if you and I are honing in on the same thing.
Okay. Well, I'll let you continue then.
No, you go.
I was going to say in 181, his whole back is a different red. That back panel.
Yes. The way... I think I was picking up the same thing. So the way the rear end, like the rear bumper, it's very much a different sheen than the rest of it. Like you got that like metallic-y finish there, and then it looks like you've got something right at the back panel that's a different color. And I agree. And I do think that from the side, I think it's how he splits probably for arm mode. The way the door of the car kind of doesn't look quite right gets me a little bit. Now, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to look when it's all said and done. This might be mostly okay, but I agree that little back piece is definitely like the eyesore of the whole thing. But I also don't think that it's bad enough that I'm like, I'm done. I don't want this anymore.
Yeah, and maybe they get that tweaked for production too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it could be that that's some kind of joint that folds around and like you can't really put paint on it because either A, it's a different plastic, or B, it's just going to scrape off. So you had to make that decision, which maybe does suck, but I think the rest of it looks pretty okay. That I think I'll be okay. I'll survive. You can even see it like in picture 180. It looks pretty different too, I would say. You can see the back end just looks like much darker than the rest.
Yeah, I wonder how much is lighting too. If he's got such a nice sheen to him that maybe it's tough to get the lighting,
Yeah, there's no like direct look on the back side though either. I do feel like picture 179, it looks like it blends in a little bit nicer. Like the back bumper part looks like it's a different color, but that little tiny gap there that I think is most noticeable in 181 looks better in picture 179.
Yeah, it's the spoiler too. Now that I'm staring at it, the spoiler's different.
Yeah, different color. Now, and you could be right though. It could be how the light's hitting it. Who knows? So. I still don't think it's a deal breaker, personally. But yeah, that's where I honed into. I still think the set looks really nice together, though. Especially picture 182 where I'm not seeing that back end so far. I don't even care that the spoiler is darker than the rest of the car. To me, that's just like, oh, the spoiler is darker because that's how it came from the factory, you know?
Yeah.
Like
I could live 182 is beautiful.
Yeah, 182 is everything that I've been waiting for this whole time. So, yeah I'm excited. 183, fantastic. Yep. I mean, like, and that's what I want. I'm like, I don't even care if it combines. Just let me put that on my shelf, and I'm happy.
Yeah, that looks really nice.
Yeah, it does. It does make you question, why didn't you just put it out and be like, and here's the stuff, like, because obviously you can't change any of the other cars. I doubt that you could have changed the engineering of Dead End all that much in the grand scheme of things. So just like put all that out and be like, and then there's going to be an extra figure. In fact, like even right now, I feel like I would prefer you to do that. But I guess the idea is you don't want a whole bunch of combiner parts. Like, so in theory, you make one set of combiner parts for every, set that you're making, but that people have gotten rid of them or they've broken along the way. So you're probably going to have places that are just left with the combiner parts, and that's the decision why you're not making fifth set of combiner. It's either going to be too hard to get because it's limited, or you're making too many and they're just going to sit there forever. So that's probably the reason.
Now, I will say, when I was looking at some of the boards and discussion of this figure of Dead End, a lot of people pointed out the very early all gray renders or all gray prototypes that FaaaaaaaaansToys showed way back in the day of Dead End. Mm-hmm. And they noted that his legs look like they're completely redesigned.
Interesting. I'd have to go back and look.
Yeah, like the detailing's still roughly the same, like the kneecaps and, wheels and the things that should be there as far as aesthetically. But you can see that the panels are different and the hinging is like the hinges are different. It's like, okay, they must have gone back and redone something.
Interesting.
And when you look at 183, my one problem with this, really drag strip, is I'm not a fan of how he makes an arm.
Yeah.
And if you look at his left knee, our right, he's got that gold piece because it's die cast for strength. And it's literally just a floppy hinge so he can separate out and plug into the skeleton, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I can't stand that. That's one thing I hate about their drag strip is that stupid knee that sticks out like a sore thumb.
I agree. Like, I wish you would have put it on both knees just for the aesthetic. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
it's weird that it's on just one knee.
It is.
Yeah.
And once you try to put it in arm mode, you're like, oh, well, that's why. Even though it's kind of dumb to me. I wish they would have just made him split into two pieces.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
That's me.
No, I agree. I think that's fair.
And they either did it completely different with Dead End or they hit it. Because obviously in that same picture, you don't see his knees look different or you see anything sticking out like a sore knee or a sore thumb in this case. So, Anyway.
No, I agree with you. Yeah. But it still looks good. I'm ready for the complete set, and we can move on.
Yeah.
So, and then not Motormaster, the Menasor. He looks fantastic.
Yeah, I love 185, 186. You've got your choice.
Yeah.
Cartoon toy.
And I assume it's coming in the same package, and I can make the decision as I go. Like, I love that about the Magic Square one, is having both options. Frankly, I love the toy option with the big stupid shoulder things so much. That's probably what I'll go with. But like, they both look so good.
They do.
And like, I love like the detail differences, even like the helmet having more detail and all that stuff. Like, it's so well done.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
And I just even noticed like the cars on the front versus the back and stuff, like, fantastic.
Yeah. Which is a funny.
Are they the cars are even flipped the opposite way too?
Yeah.
So like on the back, you're plugging it in bottom side of the car inward, and on the front you're or the toy mode, you're doing the front of the car forward or the back of the car forward. Whatever. You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
I'm confusing myself. The bottom of the car is forward on toy mode, and the top of the car is facing outwards on the TV one. Like, that's cool.
Yeah. And
Just
you can
having
really
those
see
two
it if
ways
you
to
go all the
capture
way
it.
to 194, where you can see the cartoon mode, and you can see him with his leg from the side. You can really see the car is
exactly.
top facing back.
Yeah, and then like it's just so interesting because that means you've designed two different ways that the legs encompass the cars,
Yes.
and that's awesome.
It's very well done.
And like looking at that, it doesn't even look like it's necessarily different pieces. It looks like you transform the leg pieces differently to make that happen. Because if I'm not mistaken, it almost looks like this is 186, like the kneecap looking piece looks like the piece that's capturing breakdown in the other picture. I could be wrong, but it kind of looks that way. So
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right. Like, you
It's super
turn it
cool.
around and you fold extra panels out to accommodate it
yeah.
and probably shift it. Yeah.
So now
Yeah, it's well done.
now the big elephant in the room is how they made this thing combine. And that is in picture 187. Our Motor Master is now a double trailered truck. And like, it's fine.
So I'll say two things. One, that's not the elephant in the room for me.
Yeah.
More on that later.
Okay.
But also, again, looking at the reactions in the boards, somebody posted a picture of this actual truck pulling two trailers. Like,
Yeah.
the actual truck that Motor Master is designed after, the whatever it is. I don't know my trucks.
He's
But,
oh man, I can't remember.
Kingston
That sounds right.
and Optimus is the Freightliner.
He's the Road King, I think, is the name of the actual truck. But yeah.
But yeah, somebody posted a picture like, this happens. This
Yeah,
is
well,
a real thing.
so
and it's like, okay, that's
in
cool.
the United States, we are the minority. Like, we don't have the double trailers for safety reasons, but like a lot of places do have these double trailers. I don't have a problem with it at all. Like, I don't give a shit he didn't look like that in the cartoon. Like, frankly, I can take off that trailer and put it away if it bothers me.
Well, that's the real thing. It's like, if you don't like the trailer, you can leave it in the box. If you're not going to leave them, if you're not going to have them combined, you can, leave it in the box or put it in the background, and that's fine. I agree.
There's also a good chance that I'm not going to have Motor Master in his vehicle mode with his extra trailer on there anyway. Like, I'm just not going to put it on the shelf like that because it takes up a lot of room. So
yeah, I'm still impressed with their Motor Master. The fact that they got that
Oh, hell
tractor and trailer, and he folds up real nice,
Oh, yeah.
and he looks that good, and
it's one of the toys I have not messed with as much as I wish I do. Like, he's sitting here on my shelf right next to me, and like, I'm like, I really should take it out and turn it to truck mode because like I remember it being so super impressive, but I was like, I can't just pick it up and do it. I need the instruction manual.
Yeah, he's a bear to transform. It's so satisfying. And those panels on the side of Motor Master's trailer, like, oh well, that's there because it flips around and makes this and this in robot mode. If you look at the cartoon, those panels are there.
Yeah,
it's like they incorporated even some of those weird panels in that circle on the side. You're like, wow, that is in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I love it. I love it. And I like the double trailer. I think it's an elegant way to do it because like what they could have done, and what I was okay with even, is they could have gone the Zeta route, which is like all the core robot stuff is just separate pieces, and that's all it is. It doesn't integrate in any way, and I frankly wouldn't even have been angry, but you made another trailer, and I'm fine.
Yeah. I don't mind that at all about the Zeta.
No, me neither.
Superior
It's fine.
Or the Toy World Constructor.
Yeah.
The fact that he has just hips that don't do anything except
be hips. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't understand the subset of people that are like, it can't have parts forming. I'm like, but combiners at their core were parts formers, right? Like, whenever Hasbro's tried to make integrated combiners, they're not good.
Yeah.
Let's not put that same limitation on third party. And like, I mean, honestly, MMC has been doing great with their integrated Protectobots. I don't have their Bruticus, so I don't really know. But like, still, like,
I have the Bruticus. I have the G2 Bruticus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sound like you love it.
I love the individual bots.
Yeah.
To the point that I'm probably going to get them for my individual Combaticons.
Yeah.
The combined mode without the extra parts it's terrible.
Right. And see, that's like my worry with the Defensor is that it's going to end up being kind of the same thing. And I have not looked at the TFCon panel, so I don't know if they've shown anything else off here. But yeah, like I don't think combiners necessarily should be perfect, quote unquote perfect combiners. I think the perfect combiner is a parts former, honestly. So.
Yeah, and that's a heated debate, right?
It is
within the fandom. I agree with you. There are a lot of people who.
I just find it hard to believe that like you could look at any like I could probably eat my words here, but I think that like I am willing to say that most of the combiners that have come out that are just like amazing combined modes end up being parts formers before they end up being integrated a combiner like that. So I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I would much rather have parts forming.
Yeah, I just think it looked great. Picture 189. Don't give a shit about the base mode.
Yeah.
I'm glad you put it in there, but like that's literally the one thing that I could care less about.
I wish they hadn't, honestly. I wish it was a trailer that just made Menasor. If you're gonna make it anything.
If I'm honest with you though about the base mode, is I just feel like they've just arranged the parts there, and it doesn't necessarily look like a base mode anyway.
It looks like some kid got a bunch of cardboard boxes and put them all together, and then cut a couple open and flattened them out, and made a base. This looks,
Yeah.
I don't care about this. I wish they would have not done it to, don't waste the time with the engineering, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, it is. It's fine. I mean, whatever. I don't care. Next to Galvatron 191, fantastic.
Okay.
That scale looks amazing.
Here's the elephant in the room for me.
Okay.
So somebody took, Constructor, and this is something that's not linked here. This is in the TFW or the TFCon panel, but somebody took Constructor and took Sovereign, and put him next to it, and put him as close to this pose as they could, and as far as how it looks distance wise, and Menasor is like 2 inches taller, or like a head and a half taller.
Yeah, so I can see the gripe there because like, it feels like Devastator should be bigger.
I just wonder then, I assume that Superion's the same height, and it's like, are we seeing FaaaaaaaaansToys trying to
make their own scale,
flex, and make the combiner scale change again? Because that's kind of what Zeta did. Not that Zeta flexed and said we're going to set combiner scale, but Toy World actually, Constructor, it's like everybody went, that's badass, that's what we want.
Yep,
and
exactly.
Then others started kind of following suit.
It was Generation Toy type scale,
right.
And then it went upwards with that. So yeah, I mean that is absolutely a valid statement. I'm not mad at it. I don't care. I'll be happy with it in the end. But yeah, that's a valid concern. Because I definitely, I don't really want to see FaaaaaaaaansToys double back to Devastator until the last combiner. Honestly, make all the rest and then show me I need to change my Devastator.
Which they did tease a Devastator as far as just a shadow like outline.
Yeah,
years ago.
I remember that. I don't want to see it. I'm sorry. Like, I want to see you tackle the other things way before I want to see that. So.
Yeah.
Yep. But he looks awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm super impressed. so far with him.
And look, he's holding up his hand in picture 193 because we've only been waiting 5 years for this. So I have to assume that that's why he's like that. Yeah, I'm good. Lighted eyes. I could tell you that I don't really care about lighted eyes, but I also can tell you that when it's come to lighted eyes, FaaaaaaaaansToys has been the one who's done it best with like the painted eyes that somehow also still glow.
Yes.
So
they've perfected that, and it looks fantastic.
Yep.
They managed to make it so that the eyes look fantastic without them being turned on. They don't look dead.
And they look great when they're turned on too. So
yeah, well done.
Yep.
And these head sculpts look great. These face sculpts look nice.
Yeah,
I don't know what that last one is.
The bottom right one, he's like, ugh.
That's the reaction we get every time they would show something that isn't Menasor.
Exactly.
Or Dead End or the
No, the bottom left is every time they showed something that wasn't the finished product.
Well, yeah, that's true.
The right one is when you're looking at Metagate Optimus Prime.
or that lady Bumblebee.
What the hell is that?
What the heck? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yep. I'm down. Okay. I can't even read it. Okay, you need to, so MMC, pick a different font because I can't read what this says. I think it says Infinity? The Dimensions Bridge? Like, I can't read your font, man. Come on. Whatever. Infinity, whatever. Female Armada Megatron. We've seen her before.
Yeah.
She's a pass for me.
Yeah. This was a TFCon exclusive, I think.
Was it?
Toronto exclusive, yeah. I think this one was, or first available there or something, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
pass for me. We've
it's
seen
a
her
pass.
before, though.
Yeah, not interested.
She looks good, but just I don't have that much of an interest in.
Yeah, exactly.
In her.
IFO2 question mark, and it says see you next April 1st. So, okay, are you like making a joke of your own product? I don't understand.
I don't know. Looks like Armada Demolisher to me.
I can see that, yeah.
Which, if it's part of this series, and that's IFO1X is a female Megatron, and IFO1 is going to be some sort of Armada Megatron, then I would assume this is a Demolisher.
Yep, that's fine.
Probably similar tank. Well, maybe not, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a whatever for me.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'll be like, I need to have this, but right now it's firmly in the meh, whatever.
Yep, same here.
Next is the Perfection series, which I can only just barely read your font there. That one's at least better than Infinitus or whatever. Infinity. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's the PS12R Saltus Regenesis. It's a blue Springer with drift helmet.
Yeah, so the Regenesis is the line they were doing their G2 stuff in.
Regenesis does what Nintendo doesn't? I don't know.
Right. But I'm not sure what, I guess this is, it's like a G2 drift.
I don't understand what the, like, clearly the intent is to try to make a drift out of the Springer mold. I don't feel like it works. I would be interested, if this is not like a con exclusive thing, I don't think it's going to sell. May just be.
Yeah, I thought somebody said it was, I can't remember now. I saw somebody said, yeah, this is based on somebody's fan art or something.
Yeah, I don't really, I mean, for the most part, I don't want to see fan art turned into toy, right? Like,
for the most part, yeah.
Good for you. I don't know. It does nothing for me. I'd rather have seen like something interesting like Whirl or something else. If you want to make a blue helicopter, like just kind of shoehorning movie drift into Springer, does nothing for me. So on the things that do interest me, they've showed their blades.
Yep.
He's good. Looks nice.
Looks very nice.
Looks all bladesy. I have no complaints. Yeah, he looks like a helicopter.
Yeah, I think he looks spot on.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that it's gonna end up looking pretty nice overall. The weak part to me is the skids of the helicopter. Because you have the skids and then you have the wheels on the skids, and I don't know. I feel like you could have just made the skids or just made some kind of landing gear wheels. I feel like I didn't need both. But it's a nitpick, right? Like, in the end, I don't really care.
I think, yeah, that's a cartoon thing.
Yeah.
That's why they did it.
Yeah,
he
fine.
has that in a cartoon.
It's fine.
In his brief appearances in the cartoon. 2 episodes, I think, maybe.
Yeah. Did he have windshield wipers?
Good question.
Because my only thing is I don't recall windshield wipers, and if he didn't have windshield wipers, why the attention to detail on the skids, and then add windshield wipers? You know, I mean, if you're gonna make an aesthetic choice, then make an aesthetic choice.
Very good question.
So,
let's see if I can find a picture of him.
oh shit, Optimus! I need some. It's raining hard. Put on the wipers. Yeah, I mean, he looks fine, and I'm sure, you know, at this point, I have not been disappointed with any one of their releases, so I'm very much looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a fantastic toy.
Yeah, I'm very happy with Blades and First Aid.
They're so fun. I own 2 First Aids
Aid
just so I could take off the fist on one of them, who's now the superior one because he's a parts former.
We talked about that, and he fits together better.
Yeah, everything about him is better. I could get rid of my original one, and I can still just pop on his goddamn fist later on. So, yeah. Don't need to be a perfect combiner. He's more perfect because he's a parts former. Take that, purists.
Yeah, I can't find a good picture of his alt mode that's big enough to show. This one doesn't look like he has windshield wipers, but it's also very hard. It's very small.
It's because he doesn't.
It's very possible that he doesn't.
I bet he doesn't.
Maybe I can find it in the Sunbow Marvel archive. Mm-hmm. It's got the model up there.
Mm-hmm. G1 Blades cartoon. I'm just gonna look at the images. No windshield wipers there. Can't tell in the comic book.
Let's see. Blades.
Oh, there's a good picture of Blades. There's no windshield wipers.
Oh, well, there you go.
In fact, yeah, he does have the wheels on the skids, though.
Yeah.
Here's a damn good picture of Blades for you. Where did it go? Because I clicked this and it took me to a website. Actually, I don't know. Where did the picture? Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, he's got no windshield wipers. I've seen a bunch of pictures of him. There's no windshield wipers. In fact, the verdict is out on the wheels on the. No, okay. Here's a picture where he has the wheels on the skids, but no windshield wipers. So you made the aesthetic choice that he needed windshield wipers, but you didn't make the choice that he didn't need the wheels on a helicopter. It's fine. I'm just saying. It would have looked better without the wheels.
I like the wheels.
What's that?
I like the wheels.
You like the wheels?
What scares me about the skids is those little thin pieces.
Yeah, they're very thin, aren't they?
I hope they're maybe die cast. I have a feeling they won't.
Even die cast kind of worries me.
Yeah. Yeah. fragile for sure.
Yeah.
But
Well, we'll see. Back looks nice and clean. I have no complaints on the back.
Yeah.
And then we have combined mode, and honestly, the combined mode looks pretty good. I think maybe he's got kind of skinny thighs.
A little baby. I think he looks pretty good. He'll be too tiny. That's my.
He's gonna be too tiny. He's definitely gonna be too tiny. But like I'm on the mindset that I don't mind my combiners being like different sizes. Like I don't mind if one doesn't look up to the other or whatever. It's fine. Like it gives them variety. But like he's definitely gonna be like kind of like way too small. And now with the FaaaaaaaaansToys Venusaur being like bigger than Constructor, I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I need that, you know. Like, but this like for me, I just love Defensor so much that I'm like I'm 100% okay with having this, and he's his own thing. He's not scaling with anything else, right? It's more reason that I'm not gonna get the Zeta Bruticus and things like that, or the the MMC Bruticus. I'm happy with this as it is. So, yeah.
I'm happy with having individual Protectobots.
Yeah,
that's why I'm in on this set, because I think their Protectobots look fantastic.
Oh yeah, and that I agree with you entirely. I think like you could fit them in on an MP shelf or whatever, and they would look totally just fine in individual modes. Combined mode's gonna I think even the combined mode would probably look fine if you were all in on only this scale combiner. But the moment you get any of the other combiners that you're suddenly toying around with that bigger scale, it doesn't work.
Right.
So, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Still, I can't wait till it's done. I think the arm looks really good too. And then Groove, I was messing with the X-Transbots Groove, and I realized that I hate that fucking toy. So I can't imagine that this is not an improvement. Now, the only thing I do notice is that he's got the shoulders, and then he's got like the weird like turtleneck thing going on with his head above it. Like that's the only thing that I don't think I like about the MMC Groove so far. But like that's just nitpicking, so it's fine. The bike looks good, and the robot looks good.
Cartoon weirdness.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got that kind of weird. Well, it's not quite like that, but yeah, he does have a weird kind of collar thing.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna give it shit. Like I said, I still think that, regardless of thinking it's a little bit weird, it looks like it's gonna be a better thing than X-Transbots. Like that thing, I don't know if you own X-Transbots, Streetwise and Groove, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
Groove is better. The thing about Streetwise for me is he is a mess.
Yeah. He is very much a mess.
Yeah, he's I'm not impressed. I started to get that set because I'm like, well, X-Transbots will get the scale correct on Defensor. And I can have MMC for individual Protectobots. And then I started in on the G2 X-Transbots because I'm like, you know what? I have a sort of a small G2 collection going on for Masterpiece. And Defensor, of course, is one of the ones that was never released, and it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, in the G2 scale. Or G2 colors, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like, I don't know if I want this now.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, I think it's actually one of the first times that you and I actually, like, were really talking. We talked about it, and it's like all the joints and stuff on Streetwise are so, like, weird and thin and not good feeling, and it does not feel like it's going to hold up. And, you know, it's been a while for them since they've released those two figures. Like, where's the rest of your set of Protectobots? And, you know, are these even going to hold up by the time they get out there? Because like they all it doesn't feel very good. Like even my Streetwise or my Groove has like weird pieces that I can see. If you look at picture 212, like the little footrest things look like it's like solid and formed on that piece, and it's like for some reason X-Transbots made it on this weird swivel that constantly swivels around and doesn't hold in place, and it's weird. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm also not convinced with the X-Transbots because I started before I got the G2 Menasor trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I got that and I was realized, oh, this combined mode is not stable.
Yeah.
Like, I've never combined the Menasor, but I put the skeleton, I put the trailer in the Menasor mode, and he can't even hold up his own legs.
Yeah.
Without the bots attached. So I'm like, is Defensor going to be this poorly designed?
Yeah.
So that's another discussion for another day, right? X-Transbots is the most inconsistent
They are.
company out there.
They are. It's why I can't, in good faith, recommend them.
You know, that Bruticus from MMC, I don't like the Bruticus for several reasons.
Yeah.
Combined. But it's solid.
Yeah.
All the joints feel great. It stands up like a champ. It poses like a champ. I don't feel like any of the individual bots, I don't feel like any of them have any kind of build issues, quality issues, or poorly designed joints or poorly designed features.
Yeah.
So for all its faults, it's light years ahead of X-Transbots combiners as far as build and quality and such. So
yeah. Well, so moving on, we get to see Groove in the leg mode. Looks good. I think it looks like it fits in there nice. I have no other comments than that. And
I
combined mode looks nice. So next they show us more of their Constructicons. I think we've seen Mixmaster before.
Yeah, I think they showed some. Yeah, I think they teased them. I think this is a little more detail than they gave before, but yeah, we have seen Mixmaster, I believe.
Yeah, I mean he's fine. Yeah, I don't have any particular comments. I think the cement mixer looks fine, and I think the robot mode looks like it's from the cartoon. Yeah, I think, and it's probably a cartoon thing that looks like Mixmaster's grill goes away in robot mode. It's fine to me. It looks a little weird, but it's a cartoon thing, right? So it's fine. Yeah. And it looks like he scales with the rest of their combiners, which is to be expected at this point.
So one thing that looks weird a little bit to me, and I'd have to go look, it's probably a cartoon thing also. 215.
215.
Yeah. Does he have toes?
No, I don't think so. I think that's proper cartoon. There's no actual foot. It just comes down into straight stumps. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's correct.
At least the bottom of his stumps have
G1
stump
Mix
tilts.
Master cartoon. Yeah, that's pretty much how he looks in the cartoon. Yep. Nope. They just come straight down. So.
Well, nailed it.
Yep. Yeah, but, like that hyper focus on the cartoon though. Like why? You know. I mean,
I don't mind it.
That's what you want to do. That's fine.
Yeah. I like it. I'm a big fan of that. Honestly, I like the cartoon aesthetic.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
and it impresses me. Yeah, and it impresses me that they're able to pull it off too, because obviously the cartoon was based on, toys. They never meant it to be.
Yeah.
We're drawing these toys, and these toys are like they walked off the screen, because it's the 80s. So going back 40 years and creating toys that can somehow mimic the cartoon is impressive to me. So.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But yeah.
So it's fine. I'm probably not in on them. I mean, who knows? I say I'm not in on them, and then everyone's like, they're so amazing. I'm like, okay. Because honestly, Streetwise and everything, they're such a joy to transform that, I could definitely see after completing Defensor that someone's like, these are so good too. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. Fans Hobby. They had the, whatever the laser guy we talked about him the other week.
Yep.
And then it looks like they are continuing their Armada stuff, and they have their Jetfire, and he looks very Armada Jetfire-y.
Yep. I'm pretty sure they showed him before, as far as like.
Yeah, I think so. And we knew this was coming. So he makes a nice pair of pants for that Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
I'm probably not in on that. Like, I'm fine with the Optimus Prime, and like I don't think I need Overload and Jetfire, honestly. Yeah, and then they show there's a picture of him with Overload on the back, and it's just big cannons, and I don't have a nostalgia bone for this. Like, it's one thing to pick up an Optimus Prime because it's Optimus Prime, but it's a totally different thing to pick up all these pieces just because for me.
Yeah, Armada was not my
Nope.
my big thing. So yeah.
Coming in 2024, the Star Saber, or at least the mini cons that turn into the Star Saber. They're fine. I don't think that what they're showing here is all that much more impressive than the actual mini cons. So, take it or leave it.
Probably a little bigger.
Yeah. And then there is Tidal Wave combined, and I love Tidal Wave. He's a character that I feel like really should have transcended his media, and I'm surprised he hasn't. I don't get the big, bulky, menacing Tidal Wave I kind of hope I would get out of it, honestly. I feel like he's a little skinny all around, but I still think I might have to get him.
Yeah, I'm not really in on any other Armada stuff. I don't have the need. But Tidal Wave, I agree. Like, I love Tidal Wave. I have the other official Tidal Waves.
Yeah. I have that. I have a custom Tidal Wave I picked up from a friend that's articulated and stuff. It's like basically the regular toy with some extra stuff put in. I have to get him out of the box sometime and kind of put him out somewhere. He's like extra painted. I'll take some pictures when I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Tidal Wave. I really, truly think that he's a character that should have transcended his media. Now, I will say some of the design stuff I see on this Tidal Wave, I'm a little concerned on some of the things, because, like, picture 230, like, the way the elbow looks like it's jointed doesn't necessarily look like the most solid things. Like, that piece that connects the upper and lower arm there, it looks like it has its own little ratchets in there, and I just worry about the spring tension on that type of joint and stuff like that. I mean, it might be fine, but it worries me a little bit. Like, it looks like you could have done something a little more robust looking. It looks kind of small considering the size of the joint, but
yeah, it also looks like maybe they could have built that into the arm instead of what looks like on the surface.
Like, it looks like the forearm's like attached. It's like it's attached part way down the forearm in a way, his elbow, you know?
Yeah, it's like the joint is on the surface of the arm, not incorporated. Which, like, yeah, it's not in an elbow position. It's like it's in, like, down, like you said, attached down onto the forearm. It looks weird. Maybe it's fine in person, but it does look a little odd.
It does. And then he comes with a little mini Skywarp, which that's good. I would hope he would. That attaches to his chest.
Or was it thrust? Oh, yeah, maybe, I see what you mean. He looks like Skywarp.
Maybe it was thrust. I can't remember. I thought it was Skywarp.
Watch, we're both wrong, and it's Ramjet.
Yeah. Who was Tidal Waves Minicon? Blah, blah, blah.
No, I think it was Ramjet. Let's see.
Yeah, you might be right.
Tidal Wave's Minicon partner is Ramjet.
Very nice.
So you said Skywarp, I said thrust, and then it's like, wait a minute.
Ramjet, yep. Great, perfect. We were right. Both of us.
Third time's a charm.
So I would expect it to be there. I kind of hope it integrates into the, like, it looks like, so picture 232 I'm at now, where they show the 3 separate vehicle things. It looks like it still kind of has that panel there that you might be able to put the jet away in the aircraft carrier if you want. I do think that this is, for me, the best looking version of the hovercraft I think we've ever seen. Like, it really actually looks like a hovercraft finally. And a giant one, but a hovercraft nonetheless.
Right, the giant one.
Yeah, I mean these
A
look cool.
hovercraft the size of a aircraft carrier, almost. Yeah, I think this looks great.
Yeah, I think I'm in. You know, I'm not a huge Armada fan, but like again, I this is a character that I really don't understand why his fame has stopped at Armada, honestly. And then the combined gigantic aircraft carrier just looks awesome. They did a great job. So, I always like the three individuals kind of does look a little bit janky. Like I always see him as this like giant mega aircraft carrier, and I'm like, yeah, that's what he's supposed to look like.
Yeah,
so,
I like it.
Integrated into Megatron, I think it looks stupid, and I think the gimmick looks stupid in Armada, and I think it looks stupid here.
I question how well that Megatron can hold up. I don't have that Megatron.
I don't have faith in fans' hobby for that because I have their original Power Master Prime, and then you put the God Bomber stuff on it, and like he can't hold it. And like I know they have later revisions that they supposedly fix the hips, and it's not a problem. Then why the fuck didn't you include those hips for people in like all God Bomber for people to put it in their original? Like you just didn't give a shit, you know? And it's like you didn't send it to retailers to make it so people can fix it. You certainly could have put 4 extra pieces of plastic and some springs in the God Bomber set for anybody to fix it, but you didn't. And so like he can't hold it, and like he shelf dives all the time. You can barely get him to stand up. Honestly, the wings of the God Bomber armor don't even extend out on mine anymore. They drop down because like fans' hobbies plastic doesn't tend to hold up that well over time, and especially with these bigger pieces. So
yeah,
I don't think this is going to work for this Megatron in the long run, honestly. Like, he looks like he's struggling to stand, and I think it looks stupid. Like, I know it's an Armada thing, and it's probably, if you loved Armada, then this is your thing, but I don't like it. I don't think it looks good, and I will not be purchasing an Armada Megatron to go with my tidal wave. So
yeah, I don't need an Armada Megatron. I just want the tidal wave. I agree. Yeah.
And that's the end of the third-party panel. And you know what?
Wonky.
I think we're going to say that's the end of the show because I know we have SDCC to go, but we're at 2.5 hours already, and I think that is long enough, honestly. So, yeah, we'll probably keep SDCC on here, and we can maybe we can make a light show 2 weeks from now and just kind of talk about SDCC and stuff like that. We'll keep it in the show notes so you can go ahead and peep ahead at what we're going to talk about next week. But I'm tired. I'm sure Pre-Ordered is tired and wants to do some other things before it's time to go to bed. So yeah.
Indeed.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Yeah, so we'll double back and do official another day. I didn't really expect us to take 2.5 hours on the third party panel, but I think it was all discussion worth having. So yeah, until then, shout out to Dustmightz for making our intro or helping us put together beats to our intro. Special shout out to anyone who's followed us from the old Chattercast Uncut days. And shout outs to those who have become members of our podcast and actually are here more often than the original members of our podcast. That's you. Yeah, until then, collect responsibly. And other than that, yeah, we'll see you next time.
Good night.